All right, it's that time. All right, hang on, y'all. Okay, it's that time. It's that time. Your girl is coming. Here I come. All right, let me see. Oh, I ain't even got the camera on. I gotta. There you go. There I go. There I go. um, y'all know I don't never have it together. I should be better prepared. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's too bright. All right, I'll get it together, y'all. Lord have mercy. Anyway, happy holidays, happy holidays. It's your girl Inga, and we're gonna be up in here talking about this American Gangster. This is the movie right here. Okay, this is a great movie. And oh hey Candy, what's going on? And I got my homegirl here, and she gonna stay up here and laugh with me, and we're gonna try to get through this and talk about it. Let me see. There we go. Hey.
Inga.
Oh, wait a minute. I think my volume might be down. No, hold on.
Yes, a little down, a little.
Oh, can you hear me? Is it better?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Look, I always at the last minute something going on. I had to reboot the computer and all. It always happens when I'm going live. All day had no problems until now. So
you're the only one.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Girl, you say you love my color, girl. This the blonde and the gray mixed together. I gotta go and get it. Get these grades up. Get them grades up out of my hair. I'm gonna get these grades out of here on Monday.
I was gonna say something. I love that. I wish I can. My head's too big to rock a shortcut, so I envy any woman that can do it. Cause
yeah, I used to have long hair, but I can't. I ain't got the patience no more. I've been cutting it now for oh man, it's been a lot of years. Yeah, a lot of years now. A good 20 years I've been cutting it short. So having to cut short. And I'll do different colors with color in it, but because my hair is graying so much now, the blonde works better because the grays come in, it almost started to look like gold. It blends in together. Because when you do other colors, say like red or brown, them grays pop in like real fast. So, but hey, that's the aging process. Ain't nothing I can do about it. But I ain't ready to go all the way salt and pepper yet.
No.
I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready yet. So that's just a vain thing. I'm not ready yet.
No, I know. I just stopped cutting mine. So I was cutting them for a while. I said, no, let me just go ahead and just embrace it.
I ain't look, my mother 82. I know we sidetrack on something else, but my mother 82 and she still she went to the beauty parlor today, got her hair colored. We ain't trying to have them we still trying to look young. It's trying to at least take 5 or 10 years off of us, we still trying. But we do what we can. But hey Tamika, what's going on?
Y'all like the video?
Yes, yes. Tamika always know what to do to tell the people. Yes. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, do all the things.
Yes.
So Tamika, can you do me a favor and send it out into the Discord just to let people know? Because I didn't get a chance to do that. If you could do that favor for me. But yeah, look, okay, y'all, this is Candy, Tamika. We gonna talk about this American Gangster. PG and I have been talking about doing this since last year, I think. But then we
No,
got
I
uh,
was searching. I didn't mean to cut you. I was searching for something, and your name popped. It was 2 years ago, almost exactly.
wow. Okay.
I
I
was like
knew it was a while.
2022.
I knew it was a while. We've been talking about it for a minute. And then we got caught up with BMF, Raising Cane, and all these other things, and being on everybody's panels, and a whole bunch of stuff was going on, and we just never got it going. So
Yes, but we here now.
actually, and that was before I even started a channel because I didn't start my channel until this year,
Exactly.
early this year. So yeah, I knew
Mhm.
it was a while. So I said, well, let's go on and end the year with with Denzel Washington. And I ain't mad at ending my year with Denzel Washington now. So we're gonna end the year with Denzel, and we're gonna talk about this American Gangster. Hey, Miss Barbara, West
Okay.
Coast Barbara. Now, Barbara, I know you done seen American Gangster, okay? I know you done seen American Gangster. Please don't tell me you haven't. But if you haven't, that's okay. But wait a minute. I thought what am I doing here? Yeah. Um, yeah, so American Gangster is a great movie. And so what is it, like about a 2 hour movie, maybe?
2.5.
Yeah. But it moved along pretty quickly once you start watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you start watching it, it moves along pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, just a side note, and we're gonna get into the American Gangster.
Mhm.
Did you hear that Biden pardoned Southwest T?
No.
Yeah, it's been all over the news cycle. I
Wow.
said, yeah, and they cut the ankle bracelet off of Southwest T today. They
Really?
came by his place and the feds cut the
Okay.
ankle bracelet off. So I guess he official free. I mean, because even though he was out, but he still was under the system.
Yeah.
And now he get before Biden got up out of here, he went on and pardoned him. So
Wow.
but he ain't pardoned me. Me just came home. He ain't been home about about a month or so, right? So
Yeah.
he ain't
Yeah,
getting
around
that much
Thanksgiving.
unless Trump pardons him. You know what I'm saying? But
I was
yeah.
wondering, do you think they met up yet? I don't know what terms they on right now. The
You
brother.
know something? I thought about that too when he came
Mhm.
home. I wondered that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what the situation is, but I guess
I
we'll find
know.
out. Oh, Miss Niecy said this is one of her favorite movies. Yeah, it's a good.
Okay.
Look, Denzel got so many great ones,
So,
but so this is in the list. Now, where I put it at, from
mm,
I'm still gonna put Malcolm X as my number one, but somewhere, but it's in the list in there. It's in the top. You know, this is a good one. It's a good one. He
yeah.
did a very good job. Everything about it. You missed what I said. Oh, I was saying, did you see American Gangster? I think it came out in what 2007.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you, Barbara. Did you get a chance to see it? It's on Netflix right now, but they're going to take it off at the end of the month. On the
Yeah.
31st is the last day,
Hmm.
and so I guess if you hadn't seen it, better go and hurry up. But I think it's on some other streaming platforms as
Probably,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, it's on some other streaming platforms. So,
Hmm.
I mean, you see it pop up every now and then because it was on Stars at one point. I don't know if it's still there. I didn't
I
look.
think so,
But at
yeah.
one point, it was on Star, and that's what made me say to you, yeah, it was on Stars because as we was watching the Last Power Book Two, and I saw it pop up on the feed, and I
Hmm.
said, "Oh, we got to get together and
I
do this
know.
movie." Yeah, yeah. So okay, Barbara saw it too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good one.
it is a good one. It's a
Yes.
good one. So
Yes.
I got a few pictures. They not in no order of nothing. They just more. We just had pictures so that we can guide along and talk.
Mhm.
So they just like a collage of pictures. Um, but so as everybody knows, stars Denzel Washington is Frank Lucas, and Russell Crowe is Richie Roberts. Richie
Mhm.
Roberts was first he was well, I guess he was a detective, right? Yeah, he was a detective,
Yeah.
like a what was it, like narcotics unit or something. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think it was. And then later on, he ended up transitioning over to be a lawyer, but
Mm-hmm.
well, like a prosecutor or something. Yeah, it was a prosecutor. Um, uh, so this really was good. But it started a lot of good people. It had Common was in it. Ti was in it. RZA from Wu Tang was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Idris Elba.
Clarence Williams III, who played Bumpy Johnson, he was in it. So this is the real life Frank Lucas here, where the arrow is. So that was, so as I've done my research on this over the years, watching documentaries and whatnot, I found out that, of course, like Hollywood, how they do. They take a real life story, but they sprinkle a little bit of extra stuff in it. So
Mm-hmm.
not everything in here is supposed to be true to real story. They have to probably jazz it up, either take stuff out or jazz it up to make it more. But it's close enough, it's
Yeah,
close enough to the real story. Now the part about this chinchilla code and all that was real. We know
yeah,
that part did happen, and that's when everything went to went to shit after that.
yep.
Everything went downhill because he
Mm-hmm.
was wearing that chinchilla coat. So, and then of course, Clarence Williams III plays Bumpy Johnson. That's the real life Bumpy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and okay, so like I said, these slides are not in no particular order, but um, oh, okay. But first, before I even start getting into the plot and we break that down, let me ask you: did you like this movie? What's your
Oh
thoughts
yeah,
on
I loved it.
liking the movie?
I love the movie. And honestly, I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, when did I watch it? Because sometimes you can remember if you was in a movie theater, or I'm like, I don't remember when I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was, of course, it was within the release, within the year or two of it being released or so. But it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny, because I see my mom in the chat too. My mom hasn't seen it, my uncle hasn't seen it, because we are from Harlem. And I was kind of telling you a little bit previously how like the second scene was filmed right across the street from where I grew up. So
Mm-hmm.
that was like a
Oh,
cool.
okay. Yeah,
It
you
was a
did say
cool,
that.
the scene, the store that Bumpy died in, when they was walking down the street, and
Mm-hmm.
Bumpy, he had I guess a heart attack.
Right,
That's
right.
actually like now is like our grocery store. Well, the grocery store that we used to go to, when we lived across the street. So that was kind of fun. Oh,
Okay.
excuse me, guys.
So you recognize some of the little parts, some of the
Yeah,
streets.
yeah, because in the actual movie they changed the street sign because Bumpy was kind of known on 116th Street and 8th Avenue, but that's actually 135th Street and Broadway, which is the block I grew on. Because when
Mm.
you'll see a train, like the train, they had a shot of the train. I'm like, hold up, that's my block. And so when they was walking down the street, that's across the street from where I grew up. So my mom came over because I watched it around Thanksgiving, and I showed her the clip, and I was like, why ain't nobody tell me they filmed this in our neighborhood? She was like, well, I've never seen it. And so I was talking to my uncle. He was like, I haven't seen the movie either, but definitely filmed in my neighborhood.
Okay, okay.
Some parts of it. And there was another scene when they apprehended one of the brothers when he was opening up his shop. That was filmed across the street.
Mhm.
But
Now,
it was
do
kind of
you
cool.
do you do you think the part where he had that sorry, that's my printer acting stupid.
You good.
If you the part where he had the stop. I'm sorry,
You good.
my printer just started wanting to just spit out paper for some reason or another. I don't know. Um, the part where he had the house. Do you think that was in like New Jersey or Long Island or something
Yeah.
like that? Or okay,
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking
because
Long
I know
Island.
it's out of the city part.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So I was thinking either Jersey or
Yeah.
it could have been like upstate New York part. A little bit.
Yeah. I
That's
wouldn't
what I
even be
was.
surprised if it was Queens or the Bronx because there are some rural areas in those
Mm-hmm.
boroughs that don't really get highlighted. So it really could
Okay.
be anywhere, honestly. But my first initial thought was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know,
And
either like
that was a big house. I mean, that was
yes,
huge. Yeah.
a lot of
Hmm.
land.
A lot of land. Yeah, yeah. And you're not getting that in that land and all that in Harlem. You're not getting that.
Definitely not.
You probably be happy if you get a little patch of grass in the front of your brownstone or somewhere, right? You don't get no grass. Not
That's
like
about it.
that. Mm-mm. Yeah. But no, it's a really good movie. But it starts off in 1968, and Frank Lucas was the right hand man, uh, the driver, really like for Bumpy Johnson,
Hmm.
and then Bumpy ends up passing away from a heart attack. So he had a heart attack. So none of these, like I said, these just pictures. None of them is in no particular order. But right here, he had a heart attack, and so they end up. Frank ended up, I guess he said, "I'm gonna take over where Bumpy left off." Right? He Now they say in real life, Bumpy did not pass away. I was watching a documentary. They say Bumpy did not pass away in some store like they showed on here. I forgot
Mm,
how they say he passed, but they said that part wasn't real. So, I said, well, that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cinema.
Yeah, it was, they just, it's not Bumpy's story. So, but I was watching a documentary and they said that didn't happen like that. But uh, so from what I do know, that Frank, really was his right hand man or like his chauffeur, driver, however you want to say it. And he did, um, decided that Frank Bumpy taught him everything about the business. He knew
Hmm.
about everything about the life and everything because Frank was an old country guy, came up from North Carolina, and now Denzel made the real Frank Lucas, like he made him smooth and debonair and the real guy. If you saw, he really is kind of country and little, but I don't want to say backwards, but I don't want to say like that, but yeah, he ain't no Denzel.
No.
Denzel really gave him some kind of credibility or something.
Yes.
So, yeah, and I'm just trying to use my words wisely,
I
but
know. I know. I know. We're trying to
yeah.
be
But he, but but yeah, because Denzel was smooth in here, like he was, especially like this scene here when he was talking to his brothers, but before we even get there, so they had the funeral or the memorial service, it was like the repast. The repast, everybody came back to, I guess that was a Bumpy's house, and uh, he just looked around and he saw all these people here, and probably people who didn't give a darn about Bumpy, but they was just, how everybody come to the funeral, but they don't really care about you. You know what I mean? They just there eating the food and drinking the liquor, and then what you thought about that scene? I cracked up laughing when Idris Elba. We forgot about him too. Idris Elba's
yeah.
in here. He's in here for just a hot second. He ain't in here long, but he played tango, right? It's a tango,
Yeah.
and when he put that drink down, I can't stand that. I don't know about you, but if somebody come to your house and put that drink down on your furniture without no coaster, that burns me up. I don't like
Yeah.
that. I'm
All the
with Frank on that.
condensation.
Yeah, but yes, because it'll leave a ring on your stuff. It'll leave a
Mhm.
ring, and then it's hard to get that up. So that was just a funny part. But Tango was talking down at him. Yeah,
Mhm.
go get me a light. Go. Just talking down to him like he
Yeah.
was a servant. You
Talking
know,
about the food, talking about, I thought he would have had a better spread than this. I was like, oh,
right, right. He was just bumping his gums. Just like, what are you doing? So well, he was going to deal with Tango later. So it just starts showing how uh I think that's when we start seeing like he then they showed like the little flashbacks of when he was um with Bumpy after that part. I think he started having like little flashbacks showing how he was with Bumpy. Bumpy started teaching him the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like little quick little flashback. But then he started watching the news and seeing what was going on over there in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, what can you say? What my
Yeah.
favorite line was,
Back
was
alpaca.
alpaca.
Ooh.
Yes, that was a funny line. That was man.
Denzel, boy.
That man was scared to death. um, yeah, so he ended up so he was keeping his ear to the street about what was going on. And so he just I guess that's when he started deciding around this time that he's going to get in touch with his cousin, which is really his the guy was the man's he was really related to the wife, the man's
Yeah, the
ex-wife.
in-law.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
like a cousin-in-law, yeah. But he called him all the way over there in Vietnam, and he was trying to get things set up. But this is how his family ended up coming up here because his family was, down in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and he decided to, get his family to come on up here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we saw them at that big house,
Yeah.
and they brought the mom up. Oh, and forgot about Ruby D.
Yep.
Rest in peace to that lady.
Yes.
Wonderful actress. You can't say enough about her. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, and I think that might have been one of her last performances too before she passed.
Mm.
She passed not long after this movie.
Mm.
If it wasn't her last, it was close to it.
Okay.
It was, she passed probably not long after.
Yeah.
Um, so, but she did a wonderful job too. So Frank, he wants to go now into the. I mean, I don't know. Can we say this? These YouTube with this language, you got to be watching what you're saying.
You talking
Um,
about the country or where? What you
no,
talking?
no, no. Got
The trap house?
the H word that he got into. He
Yes.
wasn't because it was this is long before crack and cocaine was too expensive. Cocaine was always a rich person's drug, so it
Mm-hmm.
was always the H drug that
Yeah.
people that was the cheap drug.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if we can say the H word because
Yeah. Just say H.
yeah, H, yeah, because
That's how the mob says. Spell it
I'm
H.
not monetized, so I don't be caring, but I don't be want to mess other people up. But I do know
Oh
YouTube
no, you good.
how they be acting funny. So, but he started selling H, and when he wanted to get into it, so that's what made him decide to go. And he wanted a direct contact over there. He didn't want to go through the middleman to get his
Mm-hmm.
H. So he goes over there to Thailand to try to smuggle it over here using that was a great and this did happen. Now, I don't know if it actually happened the way they showed in the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
when I see many documentaries on Frank Lucas, it actually did. He did set this up. For you to do something like this and to bring that into the country through the military and through the people who were unalive in their coffins, that's man, that's remarkable. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say like, and that's just not a good thing, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm
If he had
vicious.
taken those smarts and used it for some good, he could have. You don't know what he could have done.
Exactly.
So you see, he wasn't an educated man, but he because the family came from a poor situation in North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, and then he his moved up the ranks, in the underworld. But if he had, imagine if he had used those smarts for good, because I bet you some stuff probably still going on like this now, but I ain't even going down that rabbit hole. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised something going on like this.
Yeah. I mean,
You
he was
know?
like Frank's understudy. I mean, sorry, Bumpy's understudy for like 15 months. So I mean 15 years.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
that's that street education. Um,
Hey, Miss Kara. Yeah, it was. But yeah, that street education. can take you a long way.
Yeah.
You know, my granddad used to say that yeah, he didn't have the education, but he had street smarts. You know, and
Hmm.
street smarts can take you a long way.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of educated people that are still stupid. So they just don't have common sense, and they got
Exactly.
all the degrees,
Book
and all
smart.
the all the stuff, but they don't know how to, they don't know how to cross the street. They just, just backward. So, but if you got street smarts, you can live anywhere and you can maneuver and figure life out. So
Yeah.
but that for him to do that, that's like, let me look at this real life Bumpy again. I mean, not Bumpy, Frank again. But this guy to do that,
Yeah.
that was like, and you talking about this was 1960, in the late 60s, 68,
Hmm.
but like the beginning of the 70s. Yeah, that was that
Ambitious.
was something for a black man too. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised. The military might still be having some stuff going on like that, but
Exactly.
with the pow
Exactly.
pows and all other kind of things that come, But see,
Yeah.
now it's other things. Now it's the pills and stuff. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
they move from one thing to the next now. But he brought his family up here, so and Ti played his nephew, and then you got Common who plays one of his brothers. Of course, I don't remember their names, but and then this now I love this actor, but he I don't I have a hard time
His
saying his name.
name. I know.
Let me say
I'm
it
the
back and
same way.
see.
When he played
Let me
Huey,
say,
I know what
okay,
you're talking about.
Chiatel,
Yeah.
Ejofer, and yeah,
I always mess it up. I'm gonna
yeah, I
do a
can't
correct
even get it. But
pronunciation.
he is a wonderful
I
actor. I
love
mean,
him.
I don't think he gets enough credit really for,
No.
yeah, because every time I see him in something, he does a wonderful job,
Yeah.
real
His
good,
roles are versatile too. Like he play a little bit
but
of everything.
little bit of everything. He really does. But that would hit that brother there. He was the one that he caused a lot of problems.
Yes.
Yeah, he called.
Yeah.
Common really didn't have much of a role. He might have said one or two lines. Ti might have
Mhm.
said one or two or three lines, and that was so they didn't really they was just there. It wasn't like they added much, but
Mhm.
uh, Chiatel, I might be saying it wrong, but anyway, he his what was the brother's name?
Huey.
Huey. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just watched it. Well, I don't know. Remember the name?
No,
I
you
didn't,
good.
I didn't even write his name down. Well, I'll butcher somebody's name in a second. So, um, well, yeah, he was the one that caused a lot of the problems. A lot of the problems. So, um, well, so Frank started selling the H. He was able to get it here to America through that whole system. And everybody, if for that to happen, everybody got to get paid. Everybody's hands is involved in this. For you to bring that stuff over in all of those, and he had what he asked for 100 kilos,
Yeah.
and you see when them ladies was over there cooking up that stuff and
Yes.
packaging up that stuff, you know. Yeah, it's not just me, Kira. I can't say that man's name, but we
Yeah.
love him anyway.
I don't want to
So
mess it up.
I hope if I ever meet him, I'm gonna just act like I can say his name, but I can't.
I'm gonna just say, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying I love you. That's it. Yeah, but he was able to get it over here, and he started selling the H under the name Blue Magic,
Hmm.
and he made it affordable because he made it $10 versus I guess before the mob was selling it, and they were probably selling it for more.
Hmm.
But he made it so cheap, so he was able to beat out all his competitors, all his
Yeah.
competition. You know,
And it was a
now
hundred percent pure too.
100% pure, 100% pure. And he wasn't going through none of the Italian mob, unlike Nicky Barnes, who was around during that time.
Hmm.
I sure they got a picture of Nicky too. I He was around at the same time, but he was under the Italian mob.
Yeah.
Um, his organization was under the Italian mob, and Frank was not. And so I think that probably caused a lot of problems too. Like, who you
Hmm.
think you are? thinking you as a black man too, 1968, 69, 70, you coming in here. And this went on for a lot of years. This went
Yeah,
on for a lot of years.
yeah,
Went on for a lot of years.
and they.
Um,
Mhm.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying it was also mentioning like the how corrupt the police were. You know, they were pretty much arresting, people, taking their
Hmm.
product,
Hmm.
chopping it up, and
Hmm.
reselling it to the.
Right, right. Yeah, he cut out the middleman. Hey, the homie. Hey, where you been? I ain't seen you and I haven't been in the Discord recently for a while. I haven't been in Discord, so I'm sorry.
Well,
I always talk to the homie in the Discord, but I just haven't been in there recently. How you been? Um, but so now we can say goodbye to Tango because we only seen him for like maybe two or three scenes. Well, I guess the first time we saw him, okay, was at the repass, and the second time he tried to almost threaten him or strong arm Frank,
mhm,
and you owe 20% and all that. He said Bobby ain't here no more. He don't run these streets, so he
mhm,
thought he was gonna come in there and take over.
yeah,
You know, I'll be like, look at here, Stringer Bell, you better go sit down somewhere. And look, and Stringer Bell got taken out, and then and Tango got taken out here.
I know, right?
Trying to do too much, doing too much.
But I like at the repass, Frank was like, "All these people in here, they owe Bumpy, and I'm collecting." Like
And
he
I'm gonna
didn't care.
collect.
He
Yeah,
didn't
and
care.
yeah, he said, man, don't think I ain't gonna collect. Oh, okay. Remember, the gentleman who was his, the older man had the mustache and the wig
Oh
and
yeah,
the
Jim. Is it Jim Morton? Joe Morton. This is his real name.
Joe Morton. Yeah, I just wanted to mention the actor's name, but
Uh,
that was sort of like Bumpy and Frank's. I guess.
Cecilia, I'm thinking, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Charlie is his character's name.
Yeah, Yes, that's correct. Yeah, Charlie Williams. Yeah, I was looking up this one, Charlie Williams. Um, yeah, he seemed like the only person that was really there for Frank. He can tell he ain't trust too many people, other than his the guy who was his muscle. He ain't really trust too many people around him.
Yeah.
And when you're in that life, you really can't trust too many people.
No.
You really can't trust too many people. Um, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Well, I've seen Godfather Harlem, the homie. I'm waiting for it to come back. Have you seen
Yeah.
Godfather Harlem?
No. I don't even know if I should share this. I'm just not a fan of the main character. The main
Oh,
actor. I'm not a
Forrest
Forrest
Whitaker.
Whitaker fan, unfortunately.
You got for okay. It's a good series so far, but I'm waiting for the new season to come. Oh, because the new season they're gonna talk on Frank Lucas this season. I think this is season whenever it's gonna come out probably sometime 2025, I guess. Um, I, I think it's season
4 or 5, maybe, right? Is what
three
I
or
want.
four, maybe four. But yeah, this season they're gonna bring Frank Lucas character is gonna
Oh.
come into play. Because
Oh,
the
okay.
first two seasons it was Malcolm X. So this might be the third or either fourth one. I can't remember now.
I heard it's good
But
though.
it is good. You say you don't know too much about Frank Lucas. Yeah, but no, Frank Lucas, you can go on YouTube. You can find documentaries on him. There's lots of stories on him. He got his own interviews. I think Vlad interviewed him. Yeah, he's
Mhm.
passed away now, uh, but he did a lot of interviews while he was alive. So you can
Yeah.
find them all on YouTube. All you gotta do is type in his name, and a whole slew of stuff come up about him. So yeah, so Tango running his mouth like he always do. He's sitting there because so Frank was sitting there at the diner with his brothers, and okay, he brought the brothers up like we said from North Carolina. They sitting there, he getting them trying to implement it into the business, and he see Tango out there just holding court, running his mouth, and he go up there and say, "Look, you got the product. Where's my money?" And Tango said something smart and slick
Yeah.
or something. I can't remember what he said. And then next thing you know, it was lights out. Okay, broad daylight in front of everybody.
Broad daylight. The brothers
Yeah,
are like, where's
broad.
my brother been up to?
Yeah, it was like some New Jack City stuff. Rockabye baby. It was like some New Jack City stuff. It was like broad daylight. Now
Yes.
I heard that didn't happen. No, they say in real life the Tango character, whatever his name was,
Mhm.
actually did get taken out by Frank, but it didn't happen on the street like that, out in the open
Mhm.
front of people. I think it was like a back alley or something. Like I said,
Okay.
Hollywood, they got to dress it up to make it good, but I'm fine with it like that. I wish that Idris could have stayed in the story a little bit longer because I
Me
love
too.
Idris, but hey, his character had to go.
Yeah.
He
I
was
love how Frank came back to the table, like get his napkin on his lap, like, so
oh,
where was I?
so what we talking about? So what we talking about? What's going on? What's for
And
lunch? He just went on and go eat his food, going on about his business like it was nothing.
them brothers
Um,
were confused, like, what is going on?
yes, the homie he went. Yes, he went to Vietnam. That's how he was able. He didn't transport it himself, but he went there to get it all set up by
Mhm.
his cousin-in-law, um, who was is stationed over there. He was in the military, and he went over there to get everything set up. And he had an operation going on, and he had to test it out on homegirl. What's her name? Red, and she tested out on some guys, and they said it was great. So, and he man, you saw when he had the disguise on too. He was watching from
Mhm.
afar to see if people um how people were reacting, and they said people can't stop getting it. It was so good,
Yeah.
you know. I said, "Dang, gone." I mean, I ain't never did no stuff like that, so I don't know how I feel, but I don't even want to find out. But
Nah.
that I guess it must make you feel real good. But the thing is the getting off of it is probably the problem. You know,
Exactly.
if it was something that just make you feel good, like I partake in the cannabis, but that don't make you that make you just get the munchies, make you get sleepy, or make you feel happy, but it don't make you no junkie like that. It don't make you no junkie. No.
I'll
So
be fine. I'll stick to my Snicker bars and Reese cups.
right, exactly. That's right. Right. Well, after so now we meet Richie Roberts. Richie Roberts played by Russell Crowe.
Mhm.
And look, Richie was always I said it must have been hot as a dickens up there. It was he was always sweating. He was always wet, dripping, sweating. I mean, good Lord. Mm. He
Oh god.
always had sweat pouring all down his face all the time. Didn't you notice that his hair was wet? His face was always moist and wet.
Maybe he had anxiety. Not
Yeah,
to
he
laugh,
had
not
something
to
that,
laugh,
but
like I have anxiety.
you
So
saw his
I'm just
partner.
saying, maybe he just one of those, just high functioning people. Just can't keep.
He,
We already saw in the whole movie he was doing too much. Like, I
he,
mean,
he was.
of course he got his goal, but he just a very ambitious detective.
Well, I skipped along because I just wanted to show this one picture up top. You see that picture up top with all the money?
Oh,
Y'all, he found like $1 million. Well, him and his partner. What was the guy's name again?
Javier, I believe.
Javier.
Yeah.
They found $1 million because they was trying to do a bust, but it ended up finding $1 million in cash. And that's his partner here, the guy with the thick mustache. And they said, look, we can. He said, look, we cannot turn this money in.
Mm-hmm.
As cops, we cannot turn this money in because it would look bad on us,
Mm-hmm.
on us and everything, and everybody will turn their back on us. Because I ain't gonna say all, but a lot of these cops is just as dirty, okay? And
Yeah.
that's still, corruption still going on now in police departments all across America. So,
Mm-hmm. Never know.
um, uh, yeah, so but Richie, wanted to do the right thing, and his conscience just would not let him keep the money. But of course, it was $1 million, but only 900 and something was turned in, right? It was
He
like,
took the partner took 13,000. Like, if you're gonna do that, do an even number. Like, come
oh,
on,
13.
13,000.
13, yeah. I mean, when this was 68, 69, 70, that was a lot of money for that time.
No,
Because
I know, but
their
still,
salary probably wasn't even that much. So it was a lot of money for that time.
I know.
But still, take 20. Let's take 20,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even 20. I would have,
Let's take an even 20 or 15 would have been better. Like doing it in five, 10, 15,
Yeah. He
20.
probably was trying to rush. They were trying to
He
he
just,
was
he,
trying to get back to the
he just
precinct.
grabbed and stuck it down his shirt real fast, whatever he could get. Yes, a cool 50. Yeah, if you're gonna take something like that, just get a big stack of money. Like, don't
Yeah.
what you I mean, come on. I
Right.
don't care, that 13, so but okay, you talking about 100K. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go on, girl, go for the gusto. Go on, take it all.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
nobody,
but what did the captain say? You was bold enough to count this money. What the captain tell him right here? You bold enough to
Mhm.
count this money in front of the whole squad. Everybody in that squad room was looking
They
at him.
was pissed.
They was pissed, and they all turned their back on him. His partner turned his back on. Everybody turned their back on. Look, Richie did the right thing, but I don't know if I can be honest. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. And I'm not a thieving person. I ain't gonna go pow nobody, snatch nobody's pocketbook. I ain't robbing the bank or nothing like that. But I don't know if I found a bag of money on the street and they got a whole lot of money in there. I just don't know.
I'm like, thank you, God.
I might turn some of it in, but I mean, I'm gonna keep a good chunk of it. If it's 100K, I might turn in $5,000. The rest is gonna be.
Who
Oh,
am I turning that into? I don't
yeah,
know. It
that's true.
depends.
Yeah,
Need
that's
the
true
Target
because
parking lot.
but that's true because who was he going to turn it in? Well, he was the cops. But who? Yeah, but he was the cops, so then he was supposed to turn in.
Yeah, that's different.
All
Yeah,
that they're going to do is just the cops is taking that money. All they're
exactly.
going to do is say, even if right now 2024, get ready to go 2025, if the cops find a bus into a house, find a whole bunch of money, they gonna stick it in their pocket and take it home, or they're gonna use it throughout the department. They're not
Hmm.
gonna take it and let's go and take it to a shelter and give it to the kids and no,
Mm-mm.
they're not doing that.
No.
They're not doing that. Yeah. Mm-mm. We saw that on the episode of The Wire when Carver and Hurt stuffed some money in there when they bust in one of those trap houses that the Barksdale crew had, and they stuck some money down into their vest or whatever it is. So
That's
that happened more than one time that they did that. So cops I know is still doing that. I'm almost sure, and I'm not in the police department, but I'm almost sure they still doing that when they find money and busting people's homes and find stuff and all that. So yeah, he was an honest person. But see, no one knew. It wasn't like it was they knew that the drugs was, I mean,
Yeah.
the money or not. No one knew.
No.
So they could have kept that money.
Hmm.
But it backfired on Victor because everybody turned their back on him. But his partner here,
Mm.
he had a bad H problem.
Classic
I
effort.
mean, he was sweating profusely. He was going through withdrawal.
Oh,
Um,
the
it,
drool. Oh,
yeah, it was bad. It was bad for him. It was bad for his partner, and then he ended up not making it,
mm-mm.
and he ended up unaliving somebody, and so that went wrong.
But that was quick thinking of Richie. Like,
Mhm.
they were in a stressful, hostile situation in the projects. And he was like, open the guy's eyes up, put him on the gurney. Like, they made
Mm.
sure they showed their
Cover,
badges.
yeah,
Like, they
cover up
pretended he was a good guy.
the wound on his neck. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
quick
That's
thinking. Yeah, yeah. It was just so they could get out of there because the people in them projects, I don't know what what project is probably nearby in that area.
yeah, it was kind of like I think I did look it up.
They wasn't having it.
I
They was
want to say
gonna
it was
whip that man's behind.
yeah.
So they wasn't having it. So, but so that pretty much was going to be the end of his the partner. That was. But
Yeah.
Richie, you know, okay, so the $1 million was found in a mobster's car.
Mm.
That's whose car it was. But um, later, well, I was gonna jump the gun saying that Richie came in charge of a special task force, but that came just a little bit later. But
Mhm.
yeah, he ended up being in charge of the task force because of because his partner ended up ODing on the blue magic, and that's what made
Mhm.
him decide to get heavy into finding out where this blue magic is coming from. And he put together his little task force, his little team, and I like the RZA playing that character.
Yeah, me
RZA
too.
did a good job playing that character.
I know.
Yeah, he did a real good job. Yeah, um, so that blue magic now was all over. They said the whole New York tri-state area. It was everywhere.
Hmm.
So he, it's amazing that they didn't take him out back in the day.
Frank?
That Yeah, the Italian mob or some other competitor, didn't take him out because of the fact that um he's making all the money. He's
Yeah.
monopolizing everything. Um, but I guess they were all working together at some point, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He just wasn't going through them to get the H.
Yeah, that was the thing. He was the one, he had to connect and he end up supplying them. So it's like, okay, if they get rid of him, they're not going to have the same quality. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably
Right.
like their hesitation. Because I'm sure if they was able to get that connect, Frank would have been out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. If they knew how to get the connect over there in Thailand, they would we
Hmm.
don't need you no more.
No.
We don't need you um yeah, he had all the high profile politicians, famous celebrities. Um Frank had a lot of businesses. I
Hmm.
mean, and that's and because his business started growing, that's why he had to recruit his five brothers to
Hmm.
come in as his lieutenants. So, and then we end up meeting Eva. Is it Ava or no? It's Eva, right? Eva.
His wife, yeah,
Yeah,
Eva.
Eva. And they end up, they was at one of his little nightclubs. They met and they end up, falling in love and getting married. She was a Miss Puerto Rico beauty queen.
Hmm.
So, but uh, but when he and you see that big wedding he had, and um, I mean he had
A
look,
lot of attention.
he had it going on. He had
Yes.
it going on, and so, but it's when he went to that fight, and that's what the tension got on him. Eva wanted him to put on that. She said, "I got this chinchilla coat for you."
Hmm.
And he put on that hat and that coat, and I mean, it was all the who's was there. There, Joe Lewis was there. All of this was a Ali fight. Everybody and their mom was there. All the pimps, the hustlers, everybody was there. And but the thing is, Frank also had the best seats of the place, sitting in front of the Italian mob, and they was like, "Who this guy think he is?" They didn't see, and the cops didn't even know who he was.
Exactly.
Josh Brolin, who I love him. Every time he's acting in something, he's good too. Josh Brolin, who played what was his name?
The cop,
Detective Trupo.
Trupo or something. Yeah.
Trupo, yeah. And he was so nasty, so evil. I did not like him at all. I did not like his
Mm-mm.
character. But he was like, who is this guy? And also it made Richie also stand out and say, look, who is this guy too? Because he taking pictures from afar,
Yeah.
trying to see who he was.
Because
So
Joe,
nobody knew who Frank was. Frank was under the radar until that daggone coat.
Yeah, and Joe Louis like stopped the champ from like going into the ring to introduce him to Frank.
Right.
Like, you
Hmm.
definitely got to be somebody
You got to be
to
somebody,
do that.
and you
But
sitting front row, front ringside, seat in front of all the other politicians, other celebrities, other mobsters, and you right up in the front over in front of everybody. Yeah, that's make anybody kind of probably take pause and say, "Who is this?"
do you
So
blame his wife or just him? Just
a
because in the
lot of
movie,
people do say
he
that.
was getting on Huey because Huey was hanging out with Nikki Barnes, who was flashy, and he
Yeah.
like chastised Huey, like, "Come on, like you gotta, pretty much an arrest me suit on. You too flashy."
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
like,
I forgot to mention that when they was he met the same time he met the wife at his nightclub Smalls. His brother comes in there, Huey, with this big green suit on. It was green and silky and flashy like satin. It just looked, yeah. And what he say? The loudest one in the room is the weakest one. Isn't that what he
mm,
said? And that's the truth. That
yeah.
is usually the truth. That's usually the truth. We
Mhm.
watch all these shows and we notice it's always we can probably pick out all these shows that we watch that we review and everything that it's always somebody who's loud and they end up being the one that's the worst.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, but he pretty
mm-mm.
much went against his own principle, and look what that got him. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised. I mean, they in the movie they show like he proposed the same night, so I don't know if it was just. I mean, it was stupid. I'm sorry.
You know, can't tell me she used Blue Magic hair grease. Okay, I know about that Blue Magic hair grease. That's been around
Me
forever in the
too.
day.
I still use it. I mean, I've been using the
Hmm.
coconut oil lately though.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, Andy, that's old.
It keep your scalp from being dry.
Let my soul glow.
Right. Yeah. See, Miss Barbara said she don't know if she found a bag of money, whether she turned. No, I mean, I don't know. I
No,
just don't know. I'm not the
I'll
keep it
thank
real with
God,
y'all.
and part of it I'm gonna do a charitable donation some type of way.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, yeah.
10%, at least 10%.
And he found $1 million too. So but you can't put that money in the bank all at one time. You just got to
No.
little drips and drabs. You can't. Oh, she said
Uh-uh.
that coconut oil be hitting.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I mean Josh, bro. I was gonna say Josh, bro. Detective Trubo, he was a dirty cop. His whole team, all of them was dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually, that's a real true story too. There's actually a movie about them, about just about how it's a movie called The French Connection, and
Mm.
it's tied into the all the corruption with the police and stuff back in the day. I mean, it goes deep because I'm saying
I
that
heard of it.
corruption in the police department has been going on forever and a day. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what city, and of course we always hear about New York City, but I don't care what major city that it could be a small town. All them cops be corrupt in some shape, form, or fashion. I ain't saying every cop. I know some good ones and all that, but if you tied up in that system, they get greedy. They
Yeah.
get greedy.
And in the movie
Um,
they mentioned Frank pretty much took out the French Connection. He pretty much replaced them, put them out of business.
hmm Yeah, and if these guys were stealing the stuff from the evidence room, okay, these detectives stealing the H and stuff from and then mixing it with the what were they using the baby formula and
Yeah.
cutting it down. It probably wasn't nothing. I know people was not getting high. That probably if you cutting it down like that, they keep chopping it
I
down till
know.
that stuff was pure.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, they, but that, but look how they did. They go in there, they steal the stuff, then they go and sell it back out there on the street, and so they were drug dealers but had a badge.
Yep.
They were drug dealers too, just with a badge. So, um, let me see. So around this time, so we talked about the chinchilla coat. Okay, wait a minute.
And he went and burned that
Um,
coat once he realized that truth.
oh yes,
That put him
once he
on notice
realized. But oh,
on the wedding day.
you mentioned something about okay. He told his brother about him being loud, right? He ended up wearing a chinchilla coat, but he wasn't weak like he said his brother was,
Mhm.
but he definitely did. He went against his own principles. Yeah,
Yeah, he stood
yeah,
out.
right,
And then
yeah.
he had the hat on too. Like I was like, okay, maybe the coat, but the hat too. We
Yeah, he
needed
didn't even
the
take it
hat.
off his side. Yeah, it was doing too much. It was doing way too much. Yeah, yeah, it was doing too much. Um, but yeah, he was going to, he had. Okay, then I'm gonna ask you about Nicky Bond. Okay, because I know Frank and him were competitors,
Mm-hmm.
but they seemed like they respected each other, but they were just competitors. But what you think about Cuba Gooden Jr.? Shout out to him. What you think about him playing Nicky Barnes? Because a lot of people, even when the movie came out, I remember going to see it in the theater. People had problems with Cuba's portrayal of Nicky. They thought it was a little goofy, kind of cartoonish or something.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but I enjoy his performance, Nicky
Yeah.
Barnes, especially now. At the time, thinking about Cuba Gooding, we see a little more esteem. But now that so
Mm-hmm.
many things have come out about him in his personal life, I'm like, this kind of
Mm-hmm.
fits. This kind of matches. He's one of those aloof,
Mm-hmm.
like all over the place people. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
now looking at it, I'm like, he was probably playing himself.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't mind his him in the movie. Like I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I ain't have a problem with it, but I remember people saying that they thought he was a little goofy or whatever. But I said, but Cuba's like that anyway. You know, I thought I didn't have a problem with it. Hey, booby, yeah, I thought the casting was spot on. I ain't have a problem with it. Myself.
Mhm.
Um, but I should have got a picture of him because he was funny in here too. He made me laugh. I
He
don't think he was
was.
trying to be funny, but I just cracked up laughing when I saw him. And but yeah, he was because Nikki he was selling. He was out there on the street selling blue magic as well. And he said, I don't care what you call it. He said, you can call it, he said, you can
Red
call
magic, whatever.
it red magic, dog crap, whatever. He can call it whatever you want, but just don't call it blue magic.
Yeah, you cut my
Yeah.
product.
Yeah, because his stuff wasn't the right stuff. He was,
Hmm.
so,
Like,
um,
what do you think about that? Because I remember having a debate about in Power when we was talking about Effie cutting the product. Like, if somebody is purchasing a product from someone, now I wouldn't call it blue magic, but do you think it's acceptable for you to get a product from someone and then kind of change the recipe? Or do you think you should keep the
mm,
product, the same?
I mean, if the formula is working, why would you change it?
Yeah.
If it's working, it's not like cooking food where you can add a little extra spice to something or some hot sauce and make it a little spice it up. But
Yeah.
something like this. If the formula is working, like why would you change it up?
Yeah. He's
You
being
know,
greedy.
just yeah. I think he was wrong for doing that.
Yeah.
So we said that's copyright infringement.
Yeah, Frank. It was funny because Frank he equated himself to like a CEO of a legit company. Like he.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's how he was running things. Yeah,
Hmm.
and look, and this is side note, y'all. This ain't got nothing. Well, this is about American Gangster, but it's just more about my father. The day I went to go see the movie, I'm in the theater, right?
Hmm.
Me and my friend in the theater, and all of a sudden, you know how everybody getting their seats. You got your popcorn. We getting ready for the thing to get ready to start. I just see this man walking across, getting ready, trying to find seats, being all loud. Is my father. Okay. So lucky it was some seats next to us. So him and his lady, his girlfriend, came. They sat up by us,
Oh.
and the whole time he talking through the whole movie because he just, this and just kept on talking, talking, talking. Because he
Ugh.
said, "Oh yeah, I know everything about this. I know everything that was going down. This was during my time, and And I know about these songs, and the sound. It was a great soundtrack too, y'all.
Yes.
That was a wonderful soundtrack. And
Mm-hmm.
plus, check out if you everybody here already know, but those who on the replay don't know that Jay-Z American Gangster is it's a good one. That's Jay.
Yeah,
That's
one of
a
my
great
favorite
one from
songs
Jay-Z.
on this
Yeah,
album.
that American Gangster by Jay-Z that's one of my favorites. Yeah. But my father talked all through this thing. He thought he was Frank Lucas. You know, because he thought he was Frank Lucas. I mean, he was.
Oh, I
It
would have
was
been
if
I
he
can't
was
stand
he's
a
just
talker.
animated. He's a talker and he is animated. He's still like that now, even in his 80s. He's still like that. But my father dresses like this though, with these suits and stuff. I mean, when he used to go to
Okay.
work, that's how he used to dress. My father was ain't no was. He still is a dresser. He still is a dresser. He like, but he was yeah. I got some suits like that right in my closet right now. He just kept on and on and on and on. Yeah, that could have been a little video right there.
Yeah,
That could have been a video right there.
his
Because
reaction video.
yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, the very first time I saw it in the theater, he's so busy talking in the theater, so I couldn't even, I missed a lot of stuff. I didn't
Mm.
actually see it again until after it was like on DVD, and then you had time to really sit at home and really really watch it. And I was like, I missed that part. That's because Dad was sitting there talking in my ear the whole time.
I'm
You
surprised
know,
somebody told him to shut up.
Lord, I'm telling you, yeah, because people how they do they talk.
Hmm.
Um, I knew people. Oh, I knew people who did it to sabotage it. They took some
Yeah.
out of the bag and put. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. People doing that. Yeah, I've heard of people doing that. Yeah, yeah, and but you know something? If you get caught doing that though, you might be like Tango. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If
That's that's my mom. She me and her
oh
was
hey mom,
talking, and there's we have people in our family that has dealings with the people in this movie. So
I mean, listen, my family ain't no angels now. Okay, so we got a little bit of all in my family. So we're there. So now nobody in my family has been on no kingpin status like a Frank
mhm.
or Nicky Barnes that I know of, but they were more like the lieutenants in the like his brothers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, working for somebody. Yeah,
yeah,
but now they more like Franklin now, so they ain't got nothing going on. You know what I'm saying?
that's
they
how it
done,
be.
they done lost it all and they ain't got nothing going on. So, but that's how it happens, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, get strung
but
out, die, or locked up.
mm-hmm.
Now, if
Yeah,
you are living a normal life, that's actually, you know, far and few in between. So I feel like that's still winning if you just regular degular living a normal life.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So but going back to that detective, that Trubo, he his he worked for then he worked for the mob, even though they were the police, but they sort of went hand in hand with the mob too, right?
I don't know if he worked for them, but it seems like he was, he was kind of strong arming them too, because he was kind of arresting them and stealing their work and selling it back to them. Like,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they was in business together. I would say that.
Right. But what about the scene where and it was sort of jumping ahead. Okay, well, this one Frank we talked about him when he went to Vietnam. And yeah, you were okay, you were right. Now I remember now. This is the I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the Italian mobster. You see how he was living in that big mansion?
Oh,
Um,
Dominic, I think. Yeah.
Dominic, yeah, and I don't think they liked each other, but it's all business. It wasn't about liking nobody. It's
Hmm.
business, yeah. But and I guess that was the main connect up in Thailand. Yeah. So he had the a direct connect. Um, but yeah, Booby's right about Trubo. He was in everybody's pocket.
Hmm.
He was in everybody's pocket. And then you did ask me about did I blame the wife? look, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything intentionally, so it wasn't like I don't know if we should blame her.
Yeah, I don't
She
blame her.
didn't
I
do
blame
it.
him.
Yeah, yeah, she didn't do anything. But she was just like, oh, hey, I got this coat. You look fly because it was like the Who's Who events, like going to the Oscars or something. You know, you dressed
Yeah,
up with your finest thing, and she didn't think nothing about it. You know,
yeah.
Frank should have
I
said,
give him
no,
the
I'm not one.
accountability because come on, what we doing here?
But he threw that coat right in that damn fire, though.
And the hat, Inga, and the hat.
Wait a minute. Yeah, the hat. Yeah, yeah. He had
That's the kicker.
right. Yeah, wait. Where my fire? He threw it right up in the fire. He threw that hat right in the fire.
It
The
remind
hat
me of
and the coat.
you know
Yeah.
those men's suit stores where they got like 2 for $99, where they got the matching shoes, the jacket, the 3-piece suit. They got the hat. Like he pretty much took whatever was on the mannequin. It seems like
Yeah, I agree, but he should have stuck to his guns. But
yes.
I mean, you know, he wanted to be fly. He looked like he was happy in the scene. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he was happy. He had no idea that it was gonna cause any problems. You know, but
She was just I just feel like it was a moment where he was pee with.
yeah, he just wasn't thinking. Just wasn't thinking. But what you think about the scene when Frank's cousin,
Mm.
Jimmy Z, he no what is this the part about the no, let me no, I was going to jump ahead. What about no, remember they was at that party. Frank had the party at his place. That's
Mm.
about the alpaca that Candy was talking about. Boy, when he grabbed, why would the cousin pow somebody in the leg in the middle of a party where all these people at, and you got the your nephew is being interviewed for
Mm.
what the Yankees or something or
Yeah.
I mean, in the middle
High
of all these
tight.
people, why would you do this?
Like Rick James said, cocaine's a hell of a drug. And the guy he shot was an officer.
Yes,
You know, he was dirty because he over there with Frank and them, but
this,
still like
this your mom here, right?
yeah.
Hey, mom. Yes, I read that New York Times magazine, and then people can still find an article online now.
Mm.
But I remember reading it way back, you know. But you can find it online if they do their
Mm.
research. There's a lot of information on Nikki Barnes too, and it's a great documentary called Mr. Untouchable. Have you seen that?
I don't think no. I don't
Oh,
think so.
I'm gonna send it to you. I think it's on Tubi. I'm gonna send it
Okay.
to you. Watch
I
it.
don't
No,
have
it's a
to
good
be. I need
story.
to download
He's
to be.
passed away now too.
Yeah.
He's passed on too, but yeah, that his story is good. Yeah, his story is good. Um, when you see his story, then we probably got, I'm gonna talk to you because he he gets upset. So I don't want to spoil it. I'm gonna let you see it. I ain't gonna tell you what
Okay.
happened, but it's a documentary. It's not a
Yeah, I know
movie.
about him, but haven't
Yeah,
just I don't think
but
I've
yeah,
fully
I'm
seen
gonna
like
let you
a
see the
full documentary.
documentary. Yeah, he was a character. He was a character. He was a character. Yeah, but that he said that's $25,000 alpaca. You know, now alpaca, those animals that look like
They scare me.
yeah,
It's
they
like
got
weird looking lambs.
like a
Yeah,
lamb. Right? And are they in the same family of a
I
lamb or no?
probably they
But they
scare
look
me.
like that. They yeah.
They
And
scare. I
and
hate.
and yeah, they just weird looking or something.
He was like blot.
Yeah, because he was trying to like white be
Yeah,
respond, and I guess if you do that, your the blood would get down into the
yeah.
carpet and won't come out. So
This ain't no
it's
regular
hard to
carpet.
get blood out of stuff like that, you know. Um, so
I wouldn't
I
even
mean,
have people in my room. Like if I have like how people have like a white room or like a sitting room. Like
yeah. If
y'all
you
not
got
allowed
white
up in
carpet,
here.
don't even just yeah. When you got you can't white rugs and stuff. You can't people even stand on it. It's really for show. It's really
Exactly.
for show. Yeah,
We'll
you
pass that
know.
room on the way to the real room where we gonna party at.
Now you know back in the day, we used to put the plastic on the. You know your mom and them used to put the plastic on the furniture back in the day. So it wasn't for everybody to sit on. That was for company, or special
Mhm.
occasions, the holidays coming, then they take the plastic off. Grandma and them take the plastic off the
Well,
furnace,
my
you
grandma
know.
ain't never take the plastic.
Yeah, well, some people kept it all year round too. And in the summertime, your legs are sticking to it.
Sticky.
Right,
That'd be a
right.
good nap. It'd be the good naps, but you wake up, but gotta peel yourself off that
Right. He said Nikki was a simp. Wait a minute. Okay, do we could put him in the simps category for that? That was the only stupid thing he did for that lady was wear that coat. Wasn't like he did a multitude of things.
Well, you, oh, Booby, you met Frank, not Nick, because he said Nikki like Nikki Barnes. He talking about Frank.
Oh!
I
I'm thinking.
guess.
I'm thinking
I'm
Frank. Okay,
assuming.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Frank. But he said Nikki was a simp.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a typo or not, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't
Oh
know, but
no, he's right. No. He's right. He's right. Nick, I'm gonna send the documentary to you to watch. Nikki
okay.
was a simp. He is absolutely right. I'm thinking of the movie. We were just talking about the documentary. Yes, in
Okay.
the documentary, in real life story, he was a big time simp. He was the number
Okay.
one simp. Yes, yes. Oh, wait a second. Oh, thank you, Mom, for the cash
Oh,
app.
she sent
That's
me
so
cash
sweet.
app too. There
Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look, every little bit help. I'm telling you, every little, we be scratching and surviving good times over here. So every little bit help. But no, Nikki was a simp. Yeah, Ruby was right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that.
No, I'm gonna find. I think unless they took it off, it was on Tubi, but it might be on YouTube or something. I'll send it to you. Um, but yeah, so that he the cousin Jimmy's how the guy that guy was being disrespectful, grabbing up on Jimmy's
Yeah,
wife
that
or
was
girlfriend, or grabbing up on her breast,
yeah,
just being they were all high and drunk. They were all
yeah,
high, doing lines right in front of everybody out at the party. It was embarrassing.
yeah.
Um, talking about was he a simple love boy? He talking about Nikki. Nikki, he was both. He might have been a lover boy, but but he definitely was a simp. No. Um, and so then let me see. So after that, like he just he just his wife didn't see that side of him early on, but then she's starting to see the angry side of Frank.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't know. The funny part is when he first introduced when they hadn't gotten married yet, Eva, to his mother, right? But what the funny part was when he brought her into the house, and she saw the pictures of Bumpy, and he said, "Yeah, that's Martin Luther King." He said, "That ain't no Martin Luther King." He said, "Ain't no Martin Luther King." He said, "He Martin Luther King to me." I said,
I
"Wait a
was
minute."
asking myself, did she know the difference?
Me too. That's what I was thinking too. Does she know the difference? Yeah. He said, "Mo, this is Martin Luther King." That just that was just fun. Uh, then and the mother said, "Oh, she has a face of an angel." You know, shout out to Miss Ruby D. But
Yeah.
they okay. What was now? I'm getting all these scenes jumbled up now in my head. But
You
the
good.
scene where we might just be all over. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
The scene with um Richie met up with two. He met up with that they was trying to follow this money trail, right? And
Hmm.
Detective Trudeau now he he followed them all the way into New Jersey, right? No,
Well,
he
from New
came to New
Jersey
Jersey
to New
to
York. I can't
New
remember which
York,
borough they was in.
yeah,
Yeah.
and to New York, and because that was supposed to be money used for a bus. To
Hmm.
buy, not the bus, but to buy, so they could try to follow the Blue Magic.
Hmm.
And that's when he found out that these cops are dirty. And he started
Hmm.
figuring it out. He didn't know everything about them yet, but he knew they was dirty. You know, yeah, this guy, he had his fingers into every pot.
everything. It
Yeah.
was funny
Hmm.
seeing that scene when he brought the bricks from evidence, I believe, to the other cops, and they had on their little suits and ties.
That's what I'm saying. That's when they was in there cooking up the stuff. And all, yes. I'm like,
That was
mm.
great.
Crazy. But then, like, so then, but when Jimmy, his cousin,
He was a mess
pow
up.
pow his girlfriend, then that's how he ends up getting arrested.
Hmm.
And next you know, he become an informant.
Yeah, that was the lucky break they needed.
That was the break that Richie and his crew needed. Yep, that was the break they needed. Now he didn't have to. Well, I guess he had to become a informant because he the lady just wasn't power. She was gone, right?
Well, she
He
was still kind of screaming and stuff, so I feel like,
he
well, they
should have just took the charge and not. You didn't obviously.
attempt. It was attempt murder, not like actual murder. So I think she survived.
Okay, well then he should have just took the charge.
Yeah,
And
but
Frank could have probably got him a decent lawyer, and maybe he should have just
hmm
took the charge. But he was, you know, well, remember he told Huey, his brother, to get rid of him. You know. Oh, Frank told. Oh, we ain't talk about this part. Frank grabbed his cousin, and on that piano, slammed his head, boom, 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 multiple times. The next day, his whole face was black and blue. His
driving that
eyeball
car,
was red.
I would have asked for a sick day.
Oh, he knew he better not ask for no sick day. But I think that's what made him turn on Frank.
Yeah,
'Cause he
that
was
didn't
pissed.
help at
That
all.
didn't help. Yeah. Now, had Frank not did that, he may or may not. We don't
Yeah,
know.
it's hard to tell because he was a real full on junkie by then. By the time he shot her, because now he was all going through withdrawals and stuff,
He was going
and
through
it was
withdrawal.
threatening him with
Hmm.
for 15 years. So he was like, I ain't trying to do the 15.
Yeah, but so he became but he probably still ended up going to jail anyway. But
Yeah, he probably got less
that's
time than
probably less
everybody.
time because yeah. So, but he became an informant and had Jimmy and the wearing a wire. Um, and that's how they knew about the final shipment of the H coming from Saigon. Because Huey was on the payphone and he could hear everything what was going on. I guess it was recorded. You know,
But I,
he guess he had a recording device on him.
yeah, maybe I don't know if it was a TV thing, but like you didn't really need to repeat it. Like he was repeating it out loud, like Huey was. I'm like, that don't.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
yeah.
TV that
So
had
if
to
you're
do that.
telling me something on the phone, and I'm gonna say, okay, so meet you at the Target parking lot at 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, what?
I'm gonna say, why are you repeating it out loud? You know what I'm saying?
I guess they had to make that. I don't know if the what the true
Hey,
story
Brandon.
is with that part, but that was
Yeah,
weird.
well, that part I don't know. No,
Yeah,
I mean, it was true that the cousin was
yeah.
informant. That part is true. And it was true about the cousin Pow Pow and the girlfriend and all of that. But we
Hmm.
don't know whether or not of the if Huey
And
was
how
on the
he,
phone and how it all
yeah,
went down. But it could have happened just he could have been in the car, especially if he was a driver. He could have been in the car. They could have been talking. He
hmm,
could have had a recording device on him. They didn't think that back then. I guess you didn't think to check people. You know.
yeah,
Now they check. You know. Now they check everybody now. So but
yeah.
they just and they probably didn't think, well, this our cousin and he been down with us the whole time. They probably just didn't think that he would be the one.
You know what I was
Um,
thinking?
hmm.
Because by this time, like not Common, not his, but between Huey and Jimmy, well, they were both using. Like seems like Huey kind of had his more like in control,
Right.
but I don't know. I just feel like the way Frank moved. I don't know. I feel like if he noticed somebody using, like he automatically should have kicked them out of the organization. You know what I'm saying? I don't know because they were
Immediately.
family,
Yeah.
but still, I don't know. It just seemed like Frank wouldn't care. Like, nah, you out.
Now you know you can't trust people when they start using. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, hey, it's so funny that Scarface, you know, in the movie Scarface, That was supposed to be one of his principles. Don't get high on your own supply. And you see what happened to him.
A whole
He
mountain of
definitely got high on his own. He got high on power. He got high on his own supply. He got high on greed. And the same thing with Snowfall. Franklin didn't do the drugs, but he got high on power and greed. And then
mm-hmm.
you get, listen.
Mm-hmm.
They better listen to the 10 Crack Commandments by Biggie. Said, don't get high on your own supply.
He did it with that one, right? He did it with that.
He lines it all up for you. He tells you everything right there what to do. He lines it all up there for you.
It
But
came
that's
after, so maybe Sammy
but that's
Davis
oh
Jr.
yeah,
or
that can
somebody
yeah, that
finna
can
do
yeah,
that.
that no, that can't very long after. But the new people can the people that's out there doing it now, which you shouldn't. Okay, I'm not condoning it, but if you're doing it, if y'all here out there doing this life, listen to the 10 Crack Commandments.
I
But
mean, child.
yeah, but now I'm not condoning nobody doing it. But if you're gonna do it, Lord, at least be smart. Good Lord, you know
I
what I'm
always
saying?
used to say that, like, don't keep getting caught. What we doing?
Yeah, because they keep getting caught the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, right.
Yeah. He was Huey was like the impressionable brother. I don't know if like
He
in
was,
terms of the hierarchy, seems like he may have been like right underneath Frank in age.
hmm
So, he probably just always looked up to Frank and just wanted to
I
be
think
just
he
like
was. I think because Frank was the big older brother. Remember when he
mm-hmm.
going back to the earlier part when he called down North Carolina and he said this was Frank and everybody said, y'all got Frank on the phone. Frank on the phone.
Exactly.
Frank on the phone. Everybody, is that
Everybody.
Frank? He said, yeah, get everybody together. I'm coming back at 6 o'clock. And the whole family was so excited. And Frank was the big brother, and he probably was the one that took care of everybody. Probably
Yeah.
the father wasn't around. And so so I think, yeah, he was impressionable. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
even the younger ones too. You
Yeah,
know,
all of them were. But
all
yeah.
of them were. And
Yeah.
the mother even mentioned that. She said, your brothers would do whatever, you know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you say do. And they followed him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that was really the beginning of coming, how it started to come, everything started to unfold and come to a head because um they started Richie started figuring out little by little, just from his investigations, that this was coming through. Well, Jimmy also they figured out, but what type of plane it was. They
Like,
realized it was a
yeah.
military plane, and they realized that they were smuggling in the H through the coffins of the dead servicemen. On one hand, it's very disrespectful. On one, no, on one, number one, I'm gonna say it's very disrespectful because I know people got their loved ones who come home from these things, so it is very disrespectful. These people out here getting their heads blown up, and trying to fight for the country and all that kind of stuff, and then you smuggling guns and drugs through. But on the other hand, that was a smart ass thing to do. It was smart.
Mm-hmm.
It was smart. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was disrespectful, but smart at the same time. It
Exactly. I
really
mean,
was.
they probably was like, scooch over a little bit, sir. I'm just
Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Because then nobody would think to be looking under
no.
under the bottoms of the coffin or under or the bottom of somebody's
Mm-hmm.
body or something like that. Um, Nobody would think about it because
That was
first,
smart.
so
That was smart.
I mean, and now this movie is 2 hours or something, but this went on for some years before he got caught. So he
Mhm.
did this for a good stretch of time.
Yeah.
All through the beginning part of the 70s.
Yeah.
This happened, So yeah, he thought yes, Miss Nisi, he thought outside of the box. So I mean, it's disrespectful but smart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because unfortunately that I mean all wars are bad, but that
Mhm.
Vietnam is still one of the worst wars in our history. And it still affects from the Vietnam War to this day. People still don't have their mind straight. People still,
Mhm.
you know, got hooked on drugs and their life just fell apart from there to this day. People are still, you see homeless people, some of them old Vietnam veterans and all kinds of stuff. So that Vietnam War, and that's
Mm.
a whole nother conversation for another day, but that Vietnam War was it affected us
Yeah.
even to now. Because a lot of people, it's either it be our parents or grandparents who might have been in the out there during that time. So
Yeah. It reminded me
older,
of the other movie we reviewed together, Dead Presidents. They touched on that a lot too.
yes, and remember what was his name? Um
Chris
Chris
Tucker's
Tucker's character of
Lorenz Tate.
no, but Chris
Chris
Tucker's
Tucker.
character. I was trying to think of the net
I
his
just had
name
it.
right offhand, but he remember he got hooked on the H
Yep.
over there, and then he come back talking about something that got up in me. Yeah, well, I do believe they probably was spraying some, that stuff
Mm-hmm.
that they spray out there.
Is that Agent Orange or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, something like that. I think they started calling it Agent Orange around the Desert Storm time. A lot of
Okay.
them people from that Desert Storm too came back all messed up, from that time. But
Skip. Yes, Skip. Yes. Thank you, Boo.
Skip, yeah, I don't know why I wanted to
I
call
knew it
him.
was simple. I couldn't think of it.
I was going to say Frankie or something else. I don't know. Yeah, Skip. Yeah, but a lot of it was he was messed up from the H. Yeah, and plus sleeping around with the prostitutes and all kinds. He probably had a little bit of everything was up in there. So
A
you
little
know what I'm saying?
syphilis, a little
Yeah,
this.
a little bit of everything. Yeah. Another good war movie, sidetrack. Ruby probably have seen this movie. Is oh my goodness. Wait a minute. That also talks all about this kind of stuff too. It's it'll come to me probably before we finish. It's another
Okay.
war. It is very good, but they have that Vietnam was bad. It was a bad time, and and I was gonna say something, but I don't. This we ain't talking politics, so I ain't going there. I try not to never talk politics, but I was gonna
Yeah.
say something about that. But
You
anyway,
always see one president over there and every
yeah,
all the
no, yeah.
movies.
But I was gonna say we shouldn't have never been in that. We shouldn't be in no wars, but that particular ones for sure we shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
We was over there for no reason. But that's all I gotta say. To get off my soapbox. But I used to I love watching documentaries. I can watch a documentary on anything. Okay,
Mhm.
and especially if it's something I don't know about, I'm even more interested because I get to learn. I watched this
Mhm.
real good documentary on PBS one day about the Vietnam War. So I went down a rabbit hole about that kind of stuff. But this kind of thing, what's going on as far as the people coming back all messed up but so I mean Frank, I mean he was supplying all that stuff, and then okay, now this was your hometown in Harlem. He was bringing all that stuff to Harlem, and I'm sure it tore up your whole little city right there.
Yeah, I
So
mean, and it was interesting because they was talking about how all the brothers they had shops set up in every borough. They had businesses in
right.
the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, even in
Right.
Jersey. So
Mm-hmm.
he was
Right.
supplying everybody.
All the girls. Yeah, that's right. He did. He did. They said that about and they always had these little store, like a store or a mechanic shop or something. That was just a front. You know what I'm
Cleaners,
saying? Yeah,
everything.
cleaners. And one of them had a dry cleaners. Yeah. Um, well, you got to have a business to launder the money. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So you got to have something legit, because
Mhm.
otherwise they're gonna be like, "Where you getting all this money from? How you
Exactly.
living like this?" So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's the so when Richie got that warrant, and so I guess his warrant outranked the military captain. Remember, the military captain said, "I didn't give you permission." He said, "I don't need your permission." So,
Mhm.
because
Because
he was part of a
he was the
task
Fed
force, but that
technically.
was a Fed task force, right? He was no
Mhm.
more a regular New York cop. He was just
Exactly.
so the Fed. Okay, so they did outrank him
Because
probably.
he
Yeah.
was like working out of Jersey for a good bit. So he was going back and forth to New York. So that's definitely Fed abilities,
Right,
capability.
right. Well, they followed the H from them planes to
Hmm.
Newark, to a project in Newark, New
Yeah.
Jersey, and and that so that's how they was able to get that warrant and all of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But um,
Yeah. And it
uh,
was frustrating because the Ti's character,
oh yes,
Stevie. he was the
Susie,
one, you know, kind of that was kind of his position, you know, transporting, and it was
yeah.
upsetting, of course, because he wanted to play baseball, and then he see his uncle's lifestyle.
But remember, he told him,
He want to be like
he
him.
said, I don't think I want to play anymore. That's when he was sitting here telling me, yeah, I don't think I want to play. And he said, what you mean you don't want to play? But see, that's because he's seeing the lifestyle that they making more than probably professional baseball player at this particular time. So
Like,
you
well,
know, athletes didn't get paid a lot back in the day like they do now.
exactly.
You know, so back then he probably saying, "Shoot, I ain't gonna go out here and play no baseball and work with the family." So
yeah, but Frank has so many connections. He was able to get him a meeting. Like, had the guy at the party. That's
had
crazy.
the guy at the yeah, yeah. So yeah, he had a lot of connections. Well, everything ended up just backfiring. But okay, so to skip it along, he went to remember when they had that bus at the projects, and they oh man, this is when RZA's character RZA came up in there acting like he was a junkie, and he said, "Come on, man, you got that stuff." And the junkie wasn't supposed to be up on that floor, so it's like he acted like he made his way up on the floor, and they took they took them. It was taking everybody out. It was powder flying all through the place. Women walking around with no without the clothes. It was um how Nino Brown and do Jack said, no walking around with no clothes on. That way nobody can steal. And that was that was some good action there. That was some good action. It was a lot going on. You almost got to rewind to watch it again because like, wait a minute, did this one just get? I mean, everybody.
I know he has a lot of action.
It was a lot of action going on. It was a lot of action going on. I mean, because this one big guy, he was just a random guy. He was like muscle. He had his hammer, and obviously the buckshots got up in his face and blew up in his face. Little Stevie, which is T.I.'s character, got taken out. He was trying to run. He ain't making around that corner. He was going. I mean, if you had turned your head, you would have missed T.I. He was just in and out.
I know.
He wasn't. He didn't have no big role in there. And I mean, everybody was getting hurt, taken out, arrested. But then Huey, he was running for his life, running, and finally Richie caught up with him. And it was that brought it down then. But see, what the part that was crazy was when they Frank was coming out of the church with his family, and he knew something was wrong. The streets was empty. Streets was empty. No security out in the front. Then he looked to the left, looked to the right, looked up the street. It was no way for him to go. It was no. And then when RZA's character and the other detective, nicely, they wasn't mean to the mom or nothing. They to the right. They said, "Excuse me, man, could you move back?" He couldn't go nowhere. I mean, not that Frank would run anyway, but it was nowhere to go.
Yeah, I love how they set up the shot.
I don't know if that happened like that. I know he did get busted in real life and all of that, but did it happen this way, coming out the church and the streets blocked off? That part I'm not sure, but I thought it was a great shot. I like the way the director did that. Yeah,
and they had the music, Amazing Grace, playing while he was, coming out. Like, I love that scene.
Now I want to ask Booby if he's still here listening in the chat. That do you think? And I ask you this. Okay, so now Frank is arrested. Do you think that Frank was a rat, a snitch? Like, is he considered in the list of being a rat? Because he didn't rat on none of his people from Harlem. He didn't rat on none of his people, none of his organization's family. He ratted on the corrupt cops. So Ruby said, "Yep."
I knew it. Everybody considers him. And we had this conversation before. Like, my channel, just the whole snitching, like what is, what qualifies as a snitch.
Uh-huh.
Um, Me personally, snitching, telling on cops, it's fair game, low key. But at the same time, I'm a, I'm gonna say yes. In general
Look,
terms,
they were already they were dirty, and they
yeah,
would
that's
have
what I'm
put in.
saying. It's like I don't feel I'm not mad at him for doing it, but I guess I would classify him
Okay, Miss Niecy
somewhere
said,
else.
yeah, he told on the police, but who cares about telling no cops?
That's what I'm saying. I don't care.
And these were dirty cops. It wasn't like these were the most corrupt cops in the world. They were terrible. They were so. Is it okay that they? I mean, I'm fine with that. All them went to prison.
Exactly. So yeah, I wasn't even mad at him, but it was I like seeing him. They had the little photos and he pointing them out. Him too. Him too. Him too.
Him too. That's right, right. And then he told the story, which actually did happen. If you, I watched the interview with the real Frank, and he said how when he was growing up as a child, and how the cops down in North Carolina used to harass them, his family, and I think it took one of his family members out. I don't know if it was his father, uncle, somebody got like, them racist backwards Southern cops back in the day. So, he grew up in the rural South. So it just, he had a disdain for cops anyway, just from his upbringing. And these were dirty cops. It wasn't, unlike Richie was different. So that's probably why he didn't have a problem with Richie.
Yeah, he respected
So,
him.
yeah, he wouldn't be going down by himself. It was him or them. They all, yeah. But I don't know. That's yeah. He did rat and he did snitch, but I just don't look at him. There's levels to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not cut. It's not cookie cutter. Like
Just like Booby knows what I'm talking about because he's from the DMV like me. We just had Rayful Edmonds, the kingpin from DC, who just passed,
just
right?
pass,
No,
right?
no one give a damn because he was a rat. Okay, he was a rat. He ain't rat on like some dirty cops or something like that. He was ratting on his own people to try so he can go on witness protection and make less time for himself. And I think also too to protect his mother. His mother was involved. He had his mother wrapped up and his family members wrapped up in his affairs. But he was one of the main people to bring all that crack cocaine to Washington D.C. in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s, and then through the 90s, it was Wild Wild West in DC. So I think Bowie might be a little bit younger than me, but he still know what I'm talking about. So um, that yeah, it was Wild Wild West. That how crack came. It came through New
Mm-hmm.
York, it came through all the major cities, and it just went through like wildfire. So and he's one of the one, but he was a rat. He ended up turning state's evidence. He turned on so many people. That's why he was a witness protection for a long time. So that's why you ain't seeing those celebrations online and people, not celebrations, but people ain't doing no repasts. Ain't nobody crying. You know, it's different. But you notice that when Meech just came home, everybody, all on social media, everybody, welcome home, Meech. Glad to see you home.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was happy because Meech didn't snitch. He just took
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna take the time, do my time, and get on out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So and Frank, so Frank yeah did snitch or talk or whatever how you say it, but I ain't mad at him because he did it to dirty cops. So he took down a whole corrupt police department. So I ain't, I ain't really mad at him about that.
Me neither.
But they did go to trial, but he exposed the corrupt cops, and they said 3/4 of New York, the New York DEA and NYPD officers were arrested and convicted. And then, of course, we know Trudeau, he took his
Mm-hmm.
own stuff out of here, which I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
so that shows how weak he was because he couldn't even do the time. So
yeah.
you do all that barking, all that threatening people, and acting big and bad, but you really can't do the time because a cop in prison is probably no, that
Yeah.
probably ain't gonna be. You had to be in what you call it, the special unit for people
Yeah.
like him. Yeah, so he couldn't be in the general population. They would take care of him. He probably put half the people up in Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? So I had the people up there probably came from a detective like him.
I haven't done
So
any research. Do you know if like he blew up his car for real? Like.
oh yeah, that was a funny scene too. That was funny. That was like Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah, it
And,
was. He had the little turkey out.
yeah. Now I don't know if that really happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
That may or may not have happened. That might
Yeah,
just be some Hollywood stuff.
yeah, I
But
wasn't
but
sure.
it still was
It was
funny. I
funny.
said,
He's like, I
yeah,
love that car.
yeah, because he I mean that's what he get. I ain't nobody feel sorry for him.
On
No,
my wedding day, like
right.
you trying to shake
Mm-hmm.
me down, and then
I
Huey
think
teed
yeah,
me off
yeah,
because he
yeah,
had work in the trunk.
yes.
Cardinal rule number one: you can have work in the car with you, but don't have me the boss. Then the
I'm the
work.
boss. I'm the boss. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that.
And he
Mm-mm.
he he rammed his head right into the. I was not mad at Frank for doing what he needed to do with his brother. Like,
No, no. Oh yeah, he beat the dog mess out of him. He really did. He did. He told Trupo, look, why don't we just everybody, why don't we just forget? What he said, why don't we just forget about this? And I'm paraphrasing, so we can all go home and eat pumpkin pie. And I'm like, pumpkin pie? I you mean sweet potato pie? We talking about some pumpkin pie.
Denzel did a
um,
good job. Oh
yeah,
god.
but no, yeah, but he deserved that. Yeah, he was messing up the whole time. He really did. He really did. But him and that cousin, they
Yeah.
both was messing up. I
Hmm.
mean, Common's character was just there. He didn't add anything or do anything. He didn't do
Yeah.
nothing wrong or do nothing good. He just was there. But he was just like a body. But yeah, Huey was messing up. Um, this whole operation fell apart because of Huey and the cousin. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
between the combination of both of them, just Huey wasn't paying attention and staying on top of things either. I don't think he was because they shouldn't have been able to even get up in there. It should have
Yeah.
been like a fortress to get up in that place. So I
Yeah.
mean, because they didn't have an informant inside. It wasn't like they had a pookie like a New Jack City. They didn't have
Exactly.
they didn't have obviously the play that project must have been just wide open. Could just walk on in there. That's what
Yeah.
it looked like. They just walked. Remember, they was walking through the whole. They should have been able to
Mhm.
see them. That's why I do like New Jack City when they had people on the roofs. They could see.
Yeah.
Oh, remember, like okay, more
Raising
recent,
Kanan too.
Raising Canaan, Raising
Hmm.
Canaan. When she had Raquel, that's why we love her. She had people everywhere. So and she was able to make a way to send the stuff from one floor to the next floor, so they could
Hmm.
get yeah. So he was supposed to be in charge of all of that and taking care of things, and he did. So I think between Huey and the cousin is why things really fell apart.
But
You know.
I thought to myself because the war is going on, right? And this is how Frank is transporting the work from Vietnam to America. But
Hmm.
my thing is, did Frank have like a contingency plan? Like, did he have a plan B? Because eventually all wars end. So I'm like, I would
Oh,
like
that's
to know, like, did he have a plan B? Because eventually it would the time would have been ran out. Like,
well, the war was coming to an end. This was in the mid 70s because this is when they were started sending troops home, like around 74, 75. They were
mhm.
starting to send people home. And he said on the news, he calls his cousin. Cousin said, "It's over with, baby." He's sitting there getting a massage. He's sitting there getting a massage. He said, "It's over with." He said, "No, I need 200. What did he say? Need 200 kilos?
I can't remember
Oh,
the amount.
it was a lot though. He needed double on 2,000 or whatever. It was a lot. It was he needed double what he normally get. He said, "No, I can't do that." He said, "Look, I'm on my way. I'm coming down."
He
And
was
he said,
desperate.
like it's almost like you going to North Carolina. So it's like it's not around the corner to go to Vietnam. It's not around the corner. But he got there, and um, Yeah, he was desperate, and that was too. That was also like greed. No, I don't think he. Do you think most drug dealers have a contingency plan? They don't.
Exactly.
They think that it's going to last forever. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I said, we just talked about Scarface. We be talking about The Wire all the time. We talk about BMF and all these other shows. All these things. These stories are all they're all different stories, but they pretty much all the same story. Just
Mm-hmm.
different characters, and they don't have no plan, and
No.
that's why it don't end good for majority of them.
Yeah. Living in the
Very
moment.
few end up unscathed. They either go into jail or you don't, or you out of here. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So and even if you go to jail, like with Frank, you come home with nothing. You know.
Yeah.
And so and yeah, so that's that. I guess they had his backup. I guess Frank, even in the real life person, I guess he said, I just can't do all that time. They were talking about giving him life or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said you could be a rich man in prison for life, or you can, do, I guess, have less time and don't have no money. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, well, this the real Frank, y'all. This is how he looked when he was younger. Got arrested. That was a arrested, picture when he got arrested. And that's how he looked later on. He was paralyzed in the wheelchair because when Frank came out of prison, I mean, he had a couple strokes while he was in prison. That's actually in real life that happened.
Okay.
So he came home. When he came out of there, he was real messed up. Now, somebody asked me one time about this. Do I think that he might have had some money stash? I really don't think so. Matter of fact, remember Richie said, if you lie to me about anything, even lie to me
Mm-hmm.
about all the money that you got hidden, that you gonna stay in it. So he
Yeah.
he probably had to tell where all his money was. They
Yeah.
said that he was sentenced to 70 years, but he only served 15. And he got out in 1991. Um, and I mean, he had money in Cayman Islands. He had money everywhere, but he had to give up all. He probably had to tell them where all his money was. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he had no money. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I mean, if he did have something hidden, maybe his wife had it
Yeah.
somewhere. But how long that's gonna last? If you
Exactly.
in jail for 15 years too,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now, Meech, I hope he got
Now
something.
I think it's different with Meech. I think it's different with Meech. I
I,
don't. I think that, and even before the BMF show,
no,
I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
I think
definitely.
that, I think even say if it wasn't over no show, I still think when Terry and him came home, they was going to have some kind of little something. It might
Mm-hmm.
not been a whole lot, but it would have. I think there was
Yeah.
still something. Mama knew where the money was. Somebody knew where the money was. I think
Mm-hmm.
there was some money. But yeah, but in this case, I think he had to give up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, he was and then that's Richie and Frank. He
Cheese,
grinning like
call them teeth show.
teasing. But okay, so this the funny part that Richie ended up, he got his law degree. He ended up becoming a prosecutor first,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ended up later on becoming the defense attorney for Frank. They became friends.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
later on became friends, and he was his defense attorney, and that's how Frank, I think, was able to get out a little bit early.
that's so hilarious
He
to
used
me.
him as a lawyer. I've never
So
even heard of stuff like that going on.
that definitely sounds like some TV stuff, but no, that's real.
Yeah, yeah, and but he is Jesus. You know what I'm saying? He was
Jeez.
not Jesus. So I think Richie is still alive, but I know Frank has passed on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but then this is an interesting story. It's really
Yeah.
good. Um, it was something about Richie that I wanted to mention.
He was
Oh,
a mess too now.
Richie,
But
he later on, April of 2017, Richie Roberts was found guilty, or he pleaded guilty to tax crimes after an investigation against him with the with the IRS.
oh.
And yeah, so I guess he got little stuff under,
Mm-hmm.
he had little problems too. Yeah,
Mm.
they said entered private practice as an attorney, specializing in criminal defense, and he was retained by Frank Lucas as a defense counsel. So
Mm.
yeah, so that's a little fun facts there. But he had a lot of problems because, like, we didn't. Okay, I didn't mention about his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was just a mess. I don't blame
Yeah.
the wife for saying, "Look, you just have." He wasn't like he wasn't like a. I think he was just, you know, how some people caught up in their job. I don't think he had time for his wife and his child.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the time. He had time for his wife and his child. Everything was about the job. So I think that's where, um, and he was probably, sleeping around and doing stuff that, so I
Mm-hmm.
think he had his own family problem.
Yeah.
They touched on it a little bit. So, and the
Yeah, I
wife,
like some of the dialogue she was telling him in court. She was pretty much saying, she was a little extreme, but she was like, you're gonna end up in the same hell as the people you arrested, because she was pretty much insinuating like, hey, you trying to do these good deeds about the money and everything, but you still trash. You still out here cheating and not spending time with your
hmm
son, and
hmm
that is not gonna make you any better because you're doing one good deed, but you got, one good deed does not erase 12 bad ones. But
yes,
overall, they kind of
Mrs.
portrayed him as a good guy in the movie in terms of like his job.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, I haven't heard that he was a bad person. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard about anything negative about the real life guy.
Yeah.
Mostly, it's always about that really happened in real life about him. I see an interview with him too. Some time ago I saw it when he talked about he actually gave up that $1 million, or it was less than million because his partner took 13,000. And he had to sit there and count all that by hand. I guess they had one of the machines back in the '60s and '70s. You know, all that would take me forever sitting there. I'm like, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4. What number I said? I gotta
I
start
would
all over again. You know what I'm saying?
I would have been like 5, 6.
Oh, right, right, exactly.
And one funny part I did like with
How
when
you
he
tell me
bailed the
that
partner
get me
out
out?
and the
Yeah,
partner ran out. He ran out of the van.
he jumped out of the ambulance, wasn't it? They was in the
It
yeah.
was something. Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah,
ambulance.
he jumped out into the street, rolled on the floor, on the ground. That was, yeah, that was
A mess.
a mess. He was in bad shape. That partner was in bad shape.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
drooling and oh god, that was a lot.
it was a lot. It was a
I
lot,
don't do
but
well with bodily fluids, y'all.
yeah, the partner was in bad shape. But because of him being a junkie is what
Hmm.
got um Richie into looking at the blue magic in the first place, and
Hmm.
so everything had a cause and effect to it. But now this they might have added a little extra to the story because it's Hollywood. They got to
Yeah,
do a little razzle dazzle to it. But however, most of the story is true. You
yeah.
know, most of the story is true. That they had to do that. So uh,
Another good one,
it
Denzel.
would have been inspiring. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, no, look,
Yeah,
this guy was so good in here. He was so good. He was so good in here. I mean, when Denzel not good in something? I
I
mean, like
know.
most of his movies I've probably seen majority of all his movies. I think it might have been maybe the more recent ones I haven't probably seen. The more in the more later recent year,
Mm-hmm.
all the early stuff from the beginning of his career, all through the '80s, '90s, 2000s. I've seen all of them. Maybe toward this later couple of years, I probably ain't seen his more recent ones in the later 2000s. But all the
Yeah,
early stuff I've seen, I'm a Denzel fan. I like I like him. We need to talk about some more Denzel stuff because
he's a
Denzel's,
he's
you
a
can't go
legend.
wrong with Denzel. I mean, everybody here, like Booby said, this was great casting. The
Mm-hmm.
direction was good. Costume, soundtrack was good.
Yes.
Um, everything is
Yeah.
good. Yeah. So it's a good rating for me. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
truly enjoyed it. Yeah.
I
So
love I love it.
yeah, yeah. So But I think we did we miss any parts? I think we got all the key
Probably. I
parts.
mean, it was a long. It was one of those longer movies, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm ready for it to be over. You know what I'm saying? It's still
No,
captivating.
yeah, because even when I did my rewatch on it, it was kind of moving along because it wasn't like I
Yeah,
was bored with it. Yeah, I wasn't bored
yeah,
with it. So it's a good rewatch at any time. It's a good rewatch anytime. I don't care if it's 5 years from now, you watch it again, you still gonna like it. It's not
yeah,
one of them ones that, oh, I saw it one time, I'm good. I don't need to see it no more. No, It's a good, all his early stuff is good, is rewatchable anyway. I mean,
yeah.
what's another one of my other favorites? That was uh, 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 Mo Better Blues.
Mm.
Love Mo Better Blues. Of course, Malcolm X. I mean, top tier. I mean, it's my mind is just gone blank now. But he during that '90s, that '90s time, he was just killing it. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. That was kicking out all the and I think he just turned 70, right? And this was it this month or something? He just turned
I think
70.
so. Yeah, I just saw an interview, and for the first time, I was like, "Oh, didn't he's aging now?" Like, I don't know why. I just
I
felt like he's.
know, I
I was like, "Oh,
know.
he's actually getting older." It kind of threw me
Let
for
me
a
see
loop a
it.
little bit, but I
Let
think
me
he is at
see. Oh,
70.
no, it's coming up. Okay, his birthday is
December,
next
right? No.
the 28th.
Okay. Yeah.
Next Saturday. So he's 69 right now. Next Saturday, the 28th, he'll be 70.
Mm, what
Yeah,
a
he'll be
blessing.
70. Yeah. So oh yeah, training day. Yeah, don't let me forget
Yeah,
about training
I
day.
just
Hey
reviewed
Stephen,
that
training
last.
day is a good one. Did
Mm,
you already we talked
yeah, I
about
reviewed
training
that like
day?
a few weeks ago. I love.
No, you did it, right? Recently.
Yeah.
Okay, recently. I can't remember, forgive
No,
me
you're
about
good.
my mind because no, sometimes I have said this to Tamika. Shout out to Tamika's den.
Yes.
I say, "Oh, Tamika, we gotta talk about so and so and so." She said, "Inga, don't you remember we already talked about that?" I said, "Girl, I done forgot." You know what I mean? After you review, we talk about so much stuff,
No, I
I just
know.
forget. So, yeah, I couldn't remember, but yeah, you did do this training day recently. Yeah, I love training day.
Yes, that's a good.
Um, he got some other good ones.
Yeah, I
It's
love
a
one of
lot
my
of them.
favorites. It's not talked about a lot, but is Man on Fire.
That's a good one
I
too.
love that one.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I agree.
I
I
actually
agree.
cried. I don't know. I
Yeah,
was.
yeah, that's the one with the little girl, right? Was
Yeah.
that? Yeah, that was a good. Dakota Fanny or whatever her name is, something like that. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And
that
they
was
end
a
up
good.
kind of working together again. An
Mhm.
Equalizer, I believe the most.
Equalizer, yeah, was good.
Yeah, I
Equalizer,
love
good.
Equalizer.
And then what's the one he did? There's sometimes when he got some roles
Yes, Greasy
where
Bear.
it wasn't big roles. Like he did this one with John Travolta called something about what is it called? And he was on the train. He was like a train conductor. John Travolta actually was the bad guy. Denzel was actually a good guy. And
Food Story was good too.
let me see if I
I
can
can't
find
think of it. John
it.
Travolta and
Yeah, yeah, it was with John Travolta. It's
hmm,
let's see.
I'm gonna have to look that up. 'Cause I
Yeah,
love me some John.
but it's real good. It's action packed. John Travolta is actually a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. And um, let me see. Let me look and see his film. Okay, here go all his film. Now, okay, Soldier Story,
Hmm.
so good, y'all. Soldier Story that came out
Yeah, that was good.
1984. That was so good. Cry Freedom. That's a true story on
Okay.
on a African leader named Stephen Biko.
Hmm.
That was very good. That was sort of during the time of the apartheid,
Okay.
during Nelson Mandela's time, during that time.
Oh,
That guy, yeah, it's a true story. Denzel it's very, very good. He was so good in that movie. Glory. Yeah, we can't forget about Glory is a good one too. And I'm not
mhm.
into a whole lot of military movies and stuff, but that one's a good one because that one got it got everybody black in there.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman. It got so many people I can't even remember everybody's name. It's so many people. Of course, More Better Blues is good. Mississippi Masala is a real good one.
Yeah.
That's a love story.
Hmm.
That was actually good. Ricochet. Now I know you didn't see Ricochet.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A lot of these
90s.
movies, it's been so long because you watch them when you're younger, and then you don't really go back. But I told myself, well, we kind of
Thank you,
talked about
Mom. Your
time
mom
too.
knows. Pelham 1, 2, 3. That's the movie. That's the one I was saying with John
Okay.
Travolta. John Travolta is actually the bad guy, and Denzel's a good guy in there. He's a train conductor, and it's a whole lot of twists and turns. But
Okay.
it's an action. You and
I've
your
heard
husband
of
will
it.
like it. It's a yes. Y'all like it. You like act. You like action. So
Yeah, I love
yeah,
John Travolta.
yeah, and it's a good one. Yeah.
Flight is good too. I love Flight.
Like so. Oh, and of course, John Q.
Oh, that made
I
me
think
cry
you
too.
know how I have a list of I have a list of movies. I mean, it's just a list in my head. It ain't written down. But I can't never watch no more because it's too emotional. And John Q is in that list. If you if I put on John Q right now, I'm bawling up in here. I'm
Yeah,
crying.
I
I'm
can't do that.
bawling. I'm thinking about my son. My son is a grown adult. I'm grabbing him. I'm crying because it's emotional. It's very
No,
emotional.
yeah, some are like one and done. You know, they could be great, but like
No, it's top tier. John Q is a
no,
top
yeah, it's top
tier movie
tier, but it's too
because of
traumatic.
it's so emotional that it's like for me, and I'm just thinking, what would I have done if my
Yeah,
son was
because
in
you
the
have a son.
hospital? Would I and he needed a heart transplant or whatever the case may be, and would you do something like this? And he
Yeah.
wasn't even trying to hurt nobody. He just wanted somebody to take care of
Hmm.
his son. And his
Hmm.
the actress who plays his wife, Elise,
Oh,
what is her name?
Kimberly Elise.
Kimberly Elise. Kimberly Elise. Yeah,
Hmm.
she was so good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's on that list of movies that every time it come on, I cannot watch it. It's too emotional. You know, another one is on that list. This is the Will Smith movie. What's the one he had the little son Jaden was with him?
Oh,
Pursuit of Happiness.
yes.
I'm melting. I'm crying. I'm bawling, snot, everything. It's too touching. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah. So certain movies like that.
No, I get.
Uh,
I got a list of those some movies, and I also got a list of movies where I cut off the last 10 minutes, like Boys in the
yeah.
Hood, Set It Off, like where's
Oh yeah,
this
even
society? Like
though I can watch those whole movies still right now,
I can't.
but I know what you're saying. That Queen Latifah, when she
I know. I
that
know.
in the scene,
When
I remember going to movies and seeing the whole movie. There was quiet, everybody was crying.
oh,
You could hear everybody. Yeah,
I can't even do it.
guys. Oh yeah, He Got Game was so good. I mean, the list is just
Yeah, he
long.
did a good
It's
job.
just,
I'm not a fan of
but
He Got Game like that, but it's I have to rewatch it because I've watched it once and I loved his performance,
his
but
performance definitely was good. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Pelican Brief with what's the lady name? Julia Roberts. I think she's
okay.
in
I
that.
haven't seen
Yeah.
that one. I
Oh, in Philadelphia. That's the one that almost it's I think that's I might have to throw that on the list of movies I can't watch no more.
really is that
It's,
bad? I mean, not bad, but to that traumatic.
it's touching. Yeah, it's
Oh,
touching.
see, I
Because
couldn't hold up on that. My emotions.
he was a lawyer uh representing what's his name? Tom Hanks played a lawyer as well, but he got fired because he had AIDS, and
Mhm.
it was so it really just showed the like prejudice, and this was during the time when AIDS was really taboo and
Mhm.
all kind of stuff. Not saying it's not taboo now, but you
No,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying.
but
It was like
different back
you
then.
definitely wouldn't tell nobody about that. So I mean, it was just good because you got Tom Hanks and Denzel. They was acting back. Oh my god, it was so good. Crimson Tides is a good one.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Yeah,
that, but I
that's a
don't
good
remember.
one. That one got what's his name? James Gandolfini who played Tony Soprano. He's in that one.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
a good one.
I've seen
That's
it, but
like
I
a
don't.
war. He was they were in the Navy. It was a
Mm,
Navy of who there's a whole bunch of people in that. There's so many people. If you see this cast, you would say, "Oh, I know that's one. I know him. I know him." You know everybody
yeah,
in
I'm
there.
sure.
Devil in the Blue Dress,
Mm,
Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston.
yeah, that was
That's a
good.
Christmas movie actually.
Yeah,
That's a good Christmas movie.
that is. That was actually the
Um,
first only movie I could think of. I was like, I don't mind if you step out.
I mean, look, he got the Bone Collector was good. Hurricane was oh my god, look, you know something. We could be up here every day doing a Denzel
Yeah.
of things. He
Oh,
got so many
I
daggone
can't
good.
even watch Antoine Fisher. Antoine Fisher's probably is something I can't rewatch. Like,
Oh, that's
who's
another
going
one
to
that
cry for the little boy?
it's,
Oh,
it's another one that's on the list. Throw it on the list of movies you can't watch no more because it's just too emotional.
that's too
Because
touching.
and especially if you got any kind of childhood trauma and you just started crying.
Yeah.
And,
I
yeah,
can't.
it's
I love Derek Luke. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I don't think he's. I don't know if he's still acting or not, but he definitely. I enjoy his work.
oh oh yes
Derek Luke.
I
Hmm.
think I don't know if he's still acting. I don't see him no more. I
Yeah.
don't really see him like that. Yeah. Good night,
The
Miss
last thing I
Barbara. We
saw
wrapping
him
it
in
up.
was Notorious when he played Biggie. I mean, played Puffy. But that was the last time I saw
Yeah,
him.
I don't see him. I mean, I'm sure he's still acting. I just don't see him
Me
as
neither.
often as we used to. It seemed like
Yeah.
at one point he was in a lot of stuff, and it's just career
Hmm.
sort of took it. Unless he's directing or
Yeah. He was
writing,
behind
he
the
could be
scenes.
doing something behind the scenes. People still working. It's just it
Yeah.
could be doing plays. We don't know.
You never know.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of good ones. Yeah, I might have to do some more Denzel ones. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
and
even
see,
talked about doing one a month, one Denzel movie a month.
Miss Nisi must be around my age because I go back to St. Elsewhere. St.
I've heard
Elsewhere
of it, but I've never
was a
seen it.
TV show, sort of like ER or like Grey's Anatomy, more like that
Mm,
type of thing. He was only on there for a short time, like maybe one season.
okay.
So it wasn't that long because he went right from that to doing movies. And once he did movies, he never went back to
Yeah.
TV.
He was doing
Yeah,
theater too, right?
and he's doing theater. Yeah, he's
Mm,
still does theater. Yeah.
he's the
Yes,
best.
and when he was young, he played. He was in the Wilma Rudolph. You ever heard of Wilma Rudolph, who was a
Yeah,
Olympic racer? Yeah,
I know who that is.
he played her boyfriend in the
Oh,
movie. This was a young Denzel. You can tell he was young. His teeth wasn't fixed. The gas
oh,
in the teeth. Like he probably was. He could have been just like maybe 20 years old, if that much.
okay.
If he was that. He looked like 18. He looked very young. He looked
Oh,
very young. So yeah, I mean, he played in so many good ones that yeah, we might have to go through the list
yeah.
and
Because there's
write
a
it
lot
down to find
I
one.
haven't seen honestly, or don't remember because it's been so long. So I definitely would love to
But
revisit
you
some.
pick one that you haven't seen or don't remember, and because most of these on this list that I'm looking at on Wikipedia,
Hmm.
I've seen majority of these. Now, of course,
Okay.
some of the later ones I might not have seen, but the majority of ones I have seen. Um, oh, but there's one that this came out 2016.
Hmm.
Fences. He
Oh,
was so good in Fences.
yeah.
Like
He
I
kind of made me
mean, that's
mad.
him and Viola Davis. You talk about top tier
Yeah.
acting. That was like a master class in acting.
Yeah.
That whole cast was
Hmm.
fantastic.
It was great.
Okay, that whole cast, everybody in there was top tier. But them two playing off each other was so
Yeah.
good, and he pissed me off so much.
I
That's
know.
how much you shout out
I
to
know.
my
I'm like, oh,
shout out to
Denzel,
my
I don't want to
daddy.
be there.
Shout out to my daddy. He ain't gonna be listening to this because he don't even be on the internet. He don't know nothing about nothing. I don't even know I got a YouTube channel. But that character remind me of my father. My father
Mm,
acted like that, talked
really?
like that.
Mm,
I ain't. Who said I got to love you? Or who's not love you? He said, who said I got to like you? That's what he said. Who said I got to like you? My job is to put food on the table. My father talked to me and my sisters like that. And
wow.
that's how they was raised. Remember, I said my father was getting ready to turn 84. So he
Mm,
was born in the 40s. So they were raised a certain way. Then they raised us a certain way. And
yeah, learn behavior.
I'm now, when I raised my son, I mean, he's an adult, but I feel like I'm still raising him, baby.
Be like
You
that.
trying to break those generational curses. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I don't talk to myself, but that movie remind me so much, or his
Really.
character remind me so much similar
Mm,
things about my own father, and not just my father, my grandfather, my
mm,
uncles. So that movie is very emotional, you know,
mm.
very emotional, and but yeah, Fences is top. Oh my God, yeah. I
that's
feel
the
like
one that done for
Malcolm X
me.
is my number one, but I think I might have Fences up there next, maybe number one and 1A, 1B, or maybe number two. If I had to list, he got so many daggone movies. I don't even know how you pick a category,
Yeah.
like how you put them in order. You
And now
know,
he's so allegedly supposed to be retiring. I'm not sure how true that was, but that was like,
yeah, he said, but yeah, okay. I saw that interview. I watched that interview
okay, I didn't
on
watch the whole
YouTube,
thing. I just saw
and
clips.
he said, yeah, he going to retire. He said, but first he going to do some more Shakespeare stuff. He doing
Okay.
King. What's the one? Is it, I know he's gonna do maybe it's Hamlet. He's gonna be doing all of these other because he
Mm,
loves Shakespeare. So he's gonna do all these other Shakespeare stuff.
okay.
Plus he gonna be in Black Panther 3.
Oh,
So basically he named maybe about 4 or 5 projects that he got lined up for the next couple of years. He said then I'll retire. So he might not retire until
no,
he
he ain't
near his
retiring.
80s.
Okay, I didn't know all that. So yeah, just
Yeah,
don't stop playing in our face.
yeah, maybe by the time he 80 something, then he said I'm ready to
Yeah,
retire. But all through the 70s, he already got the next couple of years
he's
lined up.
booked. He's booked and busy.
And he's a producer. Like we
Yeah,
reviewed. Y'all watch our review on the piano lesson. Me, Tamika,
yeah, I haven't watched that.
yeah. Oh, watch the piano lesson is good. I've
Okay,
seen both versions of it. The 1995 one with
okay,
Charles Dutton and Alfie Woodward and all of that's on YouTube. You can find out on
okay.
YouTube. The 1995 version and also then the 2024. And this one is a family affair because
Yeah,
his
son.
Denzel produces it. His daughter is one of the producers.
Oh, I didn't know
John
that.
David, his son is one of the main characters, and his other son Malcolm directing it, and
Mm,
his wife had a little small cameo in there. So
okay,
it's a family
okay. Well,
affair. Yeah. So he has the rights to all of August Wilson's plays,
oh,
and so far he's done 3. He's done okay, he did no, there's 4. Well, Fences was one of them. Then it was piano lesson. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That one had Viola Davis. And it was the last one that Chadwick Boseman was in.
mm,
That's on Netflix as well.
mm,
And then very good. That was Chadwick Boseman's last performance.
mm.
Dynamite, dynamite. I
Hmm.
mean, he left us with wonderful work. So that was and then I think there's maybe one more, but he did about I think 3 or 4 anyway. So he's supposed to be taking all of August Wilson's plays and turn them into like movie productions and stuff. So
Okay.
I don't know if they'll all go to theater. They might be like Netflix, but still be like motion pictures.
Okay.
So he's still gonna be working even as a producer.
Yeah, he
So
lying. He lied to us.
he might
Because if he,
retire at 85. Maybe by the
he
time he's
no
85.
appearances still here and there. It's in him. He is in him. He probably
And his
can't.
wife is an actress. She's acting. She was on
Oh yeah.
Reasonable Doubt because me and the ladies we reviewed that. Me, Moochie, Tamika,
Oh, I
EJ.
didn't know she was unreasonable.
We do reason. We watch. That's coming back. I don't. Well, they got renewed for a 3rd season, so I don't know when they're gonna
I heard
start
that was
taping
good.
again. But that's on Hulu, and so yeah. So anyway, I enjoy all I can talk
Yeah.
Denzel forever. We love Denzel, but we've been up here a long time, and everybody need to go to bed. Good night, Mom. Thanks again for the cash app.
Right.
And real quick, you got anything coming up for the holiday? As far as I know you just did a couple of lives recently. You got anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, I did a live about gift giving, grief. I just did that yesterday. Um, and me and my nephew, we are doing Home Alones, all of them. So we've
Yeah.
done 1
Okay.
and 2. So we are reviewing Home Alone 3 tomorrow.
He's a natural.
Um,
He can
and
do it on his own. He is a natural. He is so handsome and
too
cute.
natural.
And he
Okay.
was just, I remember at one point you had to tell him, wait a minute, look, don't overtalk.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly. He's
he
not shy at
he
all.
was not shy. He was just talking and smiling, and you had to tell him to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
So he was trying to overtalk you while you was talking, and but it was all fun and cute. It was,
No,
so,
yeah.
yeah,
He's a joy. It's been fun doing this with him. And
yeah, yeah.
we're doing Home Alone 4 on Monday. So
I ain't never seen the full. Oh, that's the more remake one, right? The more.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
I
as
didn't see
popular. I
that
don't think
one.
but we just gonna just make sure we cover it all. I mean, I
Wait a
heard
minute, wait
there's
a minute. I only saw 1 and 2. That's with Macaulay Culkin, right?
yeah.
So who did 3? I ain't see 3.
Three. I don't can't remember the actor's name. Well, his the actually real name is Alex, and the character's name. It's a whole nother character.
Oh,
And
okay. I ain't
four.
see 3 and 4 then. Okay.
Oh, four. I can't remember the guy's the little boy's name. It was a whole nother person. It was okay. It wasn't,
It's not as good as Macaulay Culkin doing it
definitely
with
not better
with
than
the
one.
original family. Yeah,
But three
that's
is decent. I'm not mad
okay.
at three. But
Okay.
four,
Okay.
but we still gonna talk about it
Maybe
when we
I'll check
watch
out
it.
3 because I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it was a 4.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
out, I want to say 2013. I could be wrong. I don't want to
Oh,
say the wrong date, but it's been out for a little bit. But I watched it a long time ago, and
okay.
then he watched it
I don't
recently.
like when they do these remakes
I
because they
know.
just don't get it right. But I think it's because we just used to the original, people.
Yeah,
But you can't go wrong with 1 and 2. That one, you would be on the floor rolling laughing. It's just hilarious.
I have to watch it every year. I
Every
watch it
year.
throughout the year. Like I love
Yeah,
me some
the
Home
first,
Alone.
I mean, the second one is just as good, but
Oh
the
yeah,
first
it
one
is.
is so good. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you, what's his name? Um, what's the guy that Joe Pesci?
oh, I love it.
I only knew him from the gangster movies and serious
Yeah,
stuff. I did not know he did comedy.
yeah. This was a
When I
switch.
first saw that, I'm like, he is fantastic. He was fantastic. So yeah. And recently, the original, some of the original family members got together, the
I
actors, and
saw
yeah, I saw some pictures floating. I
they
said,
had a
"Oh, that's nice."
reunion.
So that's good that they all still, stay in touch with each
Yeah,
other. Yeah.
and people still go to the house and stuff. They got
Yes, I
tours.
saw
Right.
that. I saw that on YouTube. Somebody, yeah, but they had people going to the house taking pictures, and
I know.
so
I would
yeah,
do that if I had the time and energy. I would do something like that.
yeah, especially so, yeah, yeah. I think it's in Illinois or something, right?
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
the suburb of
in the
outside
suburb. Yeah.
Chicago.
Yep,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, when next time you take y'all road trips and you have to be in Chicago area, you just got to
I
find.
gotta be in the summer.
Yeah, yeah, I ain't going to Chicago. And shout out to Chicago, y'all, to the shy, but I ain't
I
going in the
can't
winter.
do the
The
snow. I
winter
mean, it's
is
cute, but
it's too brutal. Yeah, it's too
mm-mm.
brutal. Yeah. I don't have. Oh, so y'all doing that Saturday?
Tomorrow. Hmm.
And it's tomorrow. No, what am I talking about?
No, you're fine. This week
No,
has been a
because these
week.
days be all gelling,
Oh, I know.
jumping up together. So yeah, that's tomorrow. Let me see what I got going on. Tamika, shout out to Tamika here in the chat. She got a trivia going on tomorrow
Oh yeah, she told me about
evening,
that.
so I'm gonna try to jump in there with her with that. But that's late night.
Okay.
And that's when we get real spicy and act real crazy late night. So then, and I think Miss Kira speaks. She's doing her little Saturday a Christmas thing.
I
So
love her.
I think I'm gonna jump over there with her. She sent me the link. So, but anything on my own, I don't know. Not as of yet. I don't have anything, but I do plan on doing a something. I'm gonna come online for Christmas Eve. Just talk like I did with Thanksgiving. Just come on, check in with everybody. Merry
Hmm.
Christmas. I'm gonna try to, pop up and do a little Christmas Eve something going on.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna do Christmas Eve. Girl, you may send me the link. I may
mhm.
join you.
Yeah, it was not no format. Just I'm just
I
gonna
know, I know.
just
I was gonna just shoot the
talking
ish
Christmas,
myself.
talking English, and just yeah. I'll send you the link, and I was gonna send the link out to people. Anybody want to pop in and just I will talk. We can talk about our childhood Christmases and all
I
kinds of stuff. Yeah,
know.
let's have a good time.
I love the laid back lives. I did a lot
Me
more
too.
early in
Me
the year.
too. I enjoyed those ones I did at Thanksgiving when
Yeah,
I was
those were
in
fun.
my kitchen and looking any kind of way. And I'm in
No,
there
you was good.
cooking and I'm having a good time. And I actually had fun talking to everybody. As
Hmm.
opposed to when you got to set everything up and just, um, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap this on up, and we appreciate everybody who came in,
Yes, thank
and
you
those who
guys.
still stuck in here with us while we were just talking. And but let me see. Do
Please like the video, you guys.
yes,
Go
please
shout.
like
You're on mute, Inga. We can't hear you. Oh, her audio. One moment. Un momento, por favor.
Yeah, my little portable
It
my
died.
little wireless mic died. They don't last that long, but it done died out on me. So all right, well we're gonna go and get on out of here. I appreciate everybody for stopping through.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
hanging out with us, and we will catch y'all on the next time. On the
Bye.
bye, y'all.